If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. And that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is. It doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong.
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I don't ever bother with a critic. Hit him with a chronicle of Riddick. Boom, bottle full of Ritalin. I hit him with a little bit of riddle me this, riddle me that. My bad, fell asleep at the gas. No time to wait though. Elon Musk, I'm trying to bankroll. New Tesla just cause I say so. Electric whip like Ivan Vanko. I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
I've been on a mission like totally spice. I'm a baddie, she bad, but she totally nice. Nails are blue and her toes feel like white. They complete me, child at the soul for my leg. He knew it for sure, but he left with a why.
What is up, party people? That was weird. I didn't know why that happened. All right, this is going to be an interesting one. I wanted to talk about a few things that were going on. Let me see. I'm trying to get everything situated. Let me change this background because this one sucks. There we go. Okay, much better. I can get back to this. All right, so what is up? Everyone in the chat. What is up, TextLex? Yep, I will put that out there in a second. Let me get this over here. Okay, back to what I was saying. One thing. I definitely wanted to go over the debate that our buddy Lael had, um, and let everyone know that there is another flat earther that is willing and ready. There she is. Let's see. And what was I saying? Oh, there is another flat earther that's ready to debate. Figuring out the time is the next part. And then right after I get that point picked out, then I'll find a Glober. So if you're interested in debating a flat earther without knowing the topic, this may be fun. Let me see. So with that, let me see. 1 second. Something is messing up on my end. Give me 1 second. All right, that's better. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So if you want to be involved in this style of debate, let me know. DM me in Discord, probably be the absolute easiest and fastest. But if you don't know, the idea is this: you're going to debate somebody, and you'll debate a known flat earther because they're going to be the ones I'm showing is going to be the debating part. The twist is you don't get to know the topic. The twist for them is they won't know who they're debating until the debate starts. So it's kind of a little twist on it. I thought it was fun. I think if we had a better Glober last time, it would have been even better. But to each their own. I don't know what else to say about that part. Dex, can you bring yourself in? I don't. I was assuming you could. Okay, just I wasn't sure. How you doing? I wasn't sure if you were able to jump in. Yeah, that was it. I just wanted to talk about the debate thing. You didn't catch it, did you? It was, whew. Oh, really? Uh, oh yeah, because you're deep in school right now. How's that going? Nice. Yeah. So I hosted a debate last Saturday. With the flat earther Brian Leakey. You know who Lael is, right? I know you know who Lael is. Oh, did Lael fail? Oh man. Oh my. Yeah, he failed bad. Like I talked about this, but I haven't talked about it on my stream, so I decided to talk about it today. What's up, Cynthia in the chat? So it was probably the worst showing for a Glober I've ever witnessed. It was horrible, and that's just being nice. About an hour into it, Lael, damn it, they heard nothing you were saying. Nothing, not one bit.
Yeah, you've got this on record only.
No, okay,
So
so I no longer use StreamYard like that. They literally doubled the price monthly, went from like 25 to it's like $50 a fucking month now. And I was like, fuck you, I'm not using StreamYard. I'll just use StreamYard. So what I do is I use the recording panel so I can just have it, and then I'm using OBS. So all the fun stuff about StreamYard is no longer fun anymore.
yeah, I can't do any of my admin stuff because it's not showing the comments. So I'm just gonna have to put the
Yeah.
comments over to the side and read them to you.
Yeah, they don't. It's just, man, 50 fucking bucks a month is just not worth it to
Yeah,
me. It's just
and you
not.
know what? $50 a month could get me.
It's a lot more than fucking showing chats on screen. Yeah, but
You know what, Blue? Fuck you. Fuck your mother. Fuck your horse. Fuck your cow. Dishonor on your family. Piss
yeah.
off.
So basically, Lael probably
I love you too.
had the worst showing ever. First time I've ever seen a rage quit happen without any rage. And then yeah, then we got left for another hour and a half with nothing but me and a few others that jumped in to talk to Brian Leakey. I didn't want to go over that. I wanted people to witness this. It was really fucking bad. Pull this up real quick. And unlike Lael, or let me set this up. Debating flat Earth is very easy in this aspect of it's wrong, but there is an aspect of it that you have to understand. You got to be ready for it. You got to. I don't want to say prepare because it wasn't a situation where he could have, but at least try. Brian Leakey started off with like an 8-minute video, and I specifically told Lael because I knew this would happen. I said, Lael, during this video or this presentation, if at any point you want me to stop, so you can say something to refute or whatever, let me know. And he said, okay. So we watched an 8-minute presentation with no interruption. And there was an interruption that needed to be done every 30 seconds. So the presentation ended, and it's now time to go back and forth. And Lael goes, why does light bend? And that was pretty much all that came out of Lael's mouth the whole fucking debate. He didn't refute anything. He didn't try to refute it. It was so weird. It's so different from Lael. But like I said, so an hour into it, Lael just left. Just left the panel like it was time to leave. Came back an hour, 15 minutes after that and then explained that he rage quit, so he didn't rage quit, which was very weird. And then he started asking me to critique him, and I started. It was bad. My critique has actually gotten.
It would be easier just to find something good to say.
It was, oh man, like where do I'm gonna tell everyone now, like if you're gonna have a debate with somebody, talk. Say something. Especially if you're someone as vocal as Lael, which is why it was so fucking weird. It was, I don't know how to put into words what happened.
My understanding of Lael and also just in general is that a lot of individuals, when they go into debates, think that they're going in under the guise that they're going to change somebody's mind. And that's just not going to happen. People are stubborn. People are set in their ways. And when you go into these kind of discussions under the guise that you're going to correct something, then you're not going to be capable of listening to understand. You're just going, it's going to go in one ear, not the other. And that's going to cause you to dissociate halfway through what's being talked about because the content is not addressing you personally. And that's a big shortcoming with a lot of these debates that I've seen online, is that there is this lack of communication and this understanding that when you go into a debate, it's for the purpose of discussion, not argument.
Yeah, Lael didn't even try that. He didn't even try the good way of that. The hardest part about this debate was moderating. That was the hardest situation happening because the first thing that I wanted to do every time I saw something was pause it and say something. But as a moderator, You're not supposed to do that. And I told Lael this. I said, Lael, I could have paused that thing every 30 seconds to tell him how wrong he was. Do
you need to take your puppies out?
Do you hear my dog? God,
yes.
I don't, and I'm not going to even acknowledge him because he's pissing me off today. They're being little dicks. God damn it.
Sorry. Lael, moderation.
Yeah, I gotta do this. Hang on, give me a second.
Yeah, no pressure to be a content creator here whatsoever, right? Here, I wonder. Well, he's gone. I'm gonna fiddle. Oh, we can't even use banners now? What the fuck?
Yeah, you can't do anything anymore. Okay,
oh,
so
that is some stank booty hole energy.
Okay, so so basically the whole time I'm biting my tongue and I'm trying to figure out a way to explain to Leo how much he missed and didn't say. But I could say this, Leo, if you're listening, man, don't stick to panel like voice chats. But geez, man, you debating that was horrible. Thanks, Dan.
Was Dan? He was debating Dan.
No, I'm talking to you. You and your bongalo, if I could hear it.
Oh, my bad. I at least was nice and didn't go on cam with it.
Okay, let me pull this up.
Oh my god, I have fucking lamb chops stuck in my head.
All right, so this is about the part where Brian wanted to watch the presentation, and I, unlike Leo, will be pausing every once in a while because, geez.
In fact, I'm going to shut up for a second, and as soon as I hear you, Lil, I'll do this. That
It was just
it could be either.
Leo, if you see something blatantly that you want to discuss, specifically the upload, you are free to queue up, since you are kind of
That
have your hands
stupid
tied behind your
hat
back.
you're wearing.
Yeah, we could go point for point, man, but it's pretty cut and dry. If there's any spots without audio or anything, feel free to skip through it. I'm pretty sure it's pretty cut and dry. We can do however y'all want, man. I'm game, man. I'm easy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll play it, and if Lale, you don't have anything to say, we may end up going through the whole thing. And then, if super chats happen, I gotta kind of go that way. But hang on, because this screen is not gonna work for me. Give me a second, guys. I did not want to share that way. Here we go.
It's not Earth curve causing the horizon. Here's a 100-foot horizon, a 20-foot horizon. This is proof the horizon is a function of visibility. You see where the sun's cutting through the fog, it appears higher due to perspective. And where it's foggy, it appears closer or lower. So the horizon is a function of refraction, visibility, and viewer height. Here's another.
Have your hands
Stupid
tied behind
hat.
your back.
I'm easy.
Yeah, thing. Give me a second.
Causing the horizon is a function of visibility. You see where the sun's
Already saw
cutting
my
through the
first
fog,
problem.
it appears higher due to perspective. And where it's foggy, it appears closer or lower. So
Everything about what I've seen so far is an issue. From the the distances to horizon that he gave, to this weird marking of closer and further away stuff that he can't verify for any of that, makes zero sense
Yeah.
to me. Stream. Okay. Yeah. Can you put that in the chat for me?
I sure can.
Yes, Mr. Slave. The chat link is going in there.
the horizon is.
And I'm sure once he gets up here, we'll probably change the subject, which I don't mind. If anyone wants to jump on and change the subject, that's fine, because that disaster of a debate is only so much to be even talked about.
Function of refraction, visibility, and viewer height. Here's another example. I'm using extreme conditions. It's easy to understand. Where we can't see as far, the horizon appears lower due to perspective. When you try to use a hazy
Can you back
muggy
that up,
atmosphere
like
to prove
10,
you got
15
dropped to the
seconds?
horizon, like MC Tune, that is dishonest to prove for conditions. It's easy to understand.
Yeah, right there.
Where we can't see as far, the horizon appears lower due to perspective. When you try to use a hazy, muggy atmosphere to prove you got dropped to the horizon, like MC Tune, that is dishonest. The horizon's constantly moving. Not only do objects shrink in the distance, the gap between the ground and that object also shrinks. So if we're going to do the math, we have to square the heights, and I'll get into that later. But here's another example where I draw a line right on the horizon, zoom in, and now you see it.
And he's trying to he's siding with flat Earth, Leo.
No, Leaky is.
Leaky is.
Yeah.
And this is Leaky's
Presentation, yes.
okay.
First of all, he's not even on the horizon right now. That's probably the
No,
worst part.
he's like,
Schmidge high.
yeah.
And every time he says a distance, it's so completely like he keeps contributing these horizons like 10, 20 miles for some reason. He's on the beach.
Here's another
I
example
wish
where I
there
draw
was
a
a way
line.
to take that clip. The one clip with all the fog, you
Mhm.
see a boat go from the left front corner to the back right corner, and he does it real fast. But if you look at that, you
See where the
know,
sun's cutting through the fog.
that
It
would
appears
be
higher due to
the thing
perspective.
that I would focus on is like, hey, look how this boat is going from the left to the right. It's going from this part of the screen to this part of the screen, and see how that.
About this one.
Mm-hmm. Like he should have focused on that more specifically, because there's a lot of good little
Well,
things to use as reference.
I'm happy you just
But
showed that part because look, check this out. So he contributes. He's looking at that fog line as the
yeah,
horizon in this right now.
but you can't look at the fog line as the horizon because you can see the fog
Everywhere.
adjust over
Mhm.
the front part of like
The lake.
this area right here on the screen.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so watch it. So that's his horizon.
Yeah,
Like,
see?
do you see what he's doing? He's now contributed a
Yeah.
second horizon on the water, even though you can actually see the actual horizon in the distance.
Yeah, I think the lines just make it look more, what's the word?
Ridiculous, wrong,
No,
misplaced.
purposefully misleading. It makes it look intentionally disproportionate. Like,
Well, that's the thing though. That's where he really thinks the horizon was.
well, then he
He
has
really
terrible eyesight.
or
Here, let
understanding
me
of a
put it on my
horizon.
big screen because you're on my little bitty screen here.
To perspective. When you try to use a hazy, muggy atmosphere to prove you got dropped to the horizon, like MC Toon, that is
Oh, do we have people we
dishonest.
can...
Now, the odd part about it is because he called MC Toon dishonest for using uh, theolites or not the whatever you call it, the the tool to check the altitude. So or theolite, whatever.
Yeah, this crosshair here.
Yes. And he's saying it's dishonest because he used hazy conditions when in reality at this altitude, knowing where you can see the horizon, where he just went through a whole dissertation of a horizon changing based on where the fog was over a lake.
Horizon's constantly moving.
I don't know what to
Not
tell
only
you.
do objects shrink in distance, the
Blue,
gap
do you
between
have a
the
comment
ground
about
and
this?
that object also shrinks. So if we're going to do the math, we have to square the heights. And I'll get into that
Okay.
later. But here's another example where I draw a line right on the horizon.
Yeah,
zoom in,
well, it's leaky. So
That, I'll put.
yeah, I refuse to debate things like this with these guys. There are two things you can say about these photographs. One thing is this: if the Earth is spherical as we know it is, then the horizon can block distant objects. If the Earth is flat, like they claim it is, the horizon can never appear in front of another object.
It would be
It
the
cannot.
the
And
the hor-
and that's as far as the debate goes in my mind.
yeah,
Anything else you show me, I'm just going to tell you that that's exactly what you should see under those atmospheric conditions.
yeah,
There's
because
nothing to debate.
on a flat Earth, a horizon would be the limit of your sight. It'd be there's nothing beyond it. The a building would not be there because the horizon would it'd be the limit that you could see. Period.
Exactly. Exactly. So there's no debate to be had here. I would have shut Leaky down that
Real
quickly.
quick, yeah. And mind you, Lael has not piped up at all.
You see a gap that you otherwise couldn't see. But here's proof that everything in the distance moves around. Okay, you see the line marking the top of that mountain was where the horizon was. So anybody using, for
What?
example, reciprocal zenith angles to prove Earth curve is lying. 1 hour I could prove a globe Earth using reciprocal
Okay,
zenith angles.
pause.
The next hour I could prove flat, and the next hour.
Isn't that just normal, typical movement of a camera on a tripod in the wind?
No, that's
There's going to be
turbulence.
some shake, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be some shake. But he's
No,
saying
there
that the
shouldn't be.
Earth
I mean,
is
you gotta.
moving? I mean, yes, the Earth is moving, but in this context, I don't think that's showing rotation of the Earth. I think that is just simply showing turbulence with the camera. Maybe
You
that
shouldn't
first
see
one
that.
right there.
I mean, you really shouldn't see that with. If you've got any kind of decent tripod at all, and you shouldn't have that problem.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
giving people a lot of credit.
that's just as time lapse and light.
That's just what refraction does over time.
Yeah, I guess that's fair too.
That's all it is.
I don't know. That's a big movement of that landmass down at the bottom.
That's refraction.
And it's also time lapsed over a day, over the course of an
Yeah.
afternoon. So it looks really funny jumping around. If you were watching that in regular, you probably wouldn't even notice it happening. You would just like look away from out of your camera, look back an hour later, and it would look a little different. But yeah.
I guess I didn't realize refraction was that severe.
Oh yeah, especially at the right time of day.
Can be when you're looking down low over especially over bodies of water like that.
Especially and even more so when you have land in between, because then you see the turbulence between over the water versus over the land versus over water versus over distance. I mean, there's a lot that makes this happen. But again, all his lines, the words out of his mouth don't even match up with what he's showing, let alone what he's showing being wrong. And we now paused it 8 times. Fucking Lael.
Meters. So if you think you know what the ground's doing in the distance, think again. Here's LAX in California in the visible spectrum, and you can't see anything behind the town. Then you put in a little infrared, and voila! Next thing you know, that reveals mountains. I want to discuss this during the back and forth. We see that he's got a beaming hot driveway, and he gets obstruction. This is supposed to be a globe proof, but this is a backfire. He cools it down and matches the temperature of the air, and all of a sudden we see the true bottom of everything.
During the day, the surface will typically be warmer than the air above it, so we consistently witness this sinking effect throughout the day, day after day. Here's an example of the red Hot Wheels car one evening, when the light from the car arrives to the viewer in full. During the day, however, the car appears to sink. We have to raise the viewer height in order to intercept the light from the car as it refracts upward. And as we lower the camera, the car disappears again. So again, as we've demonstrated on this channel many times before, sinking occurs often, day after day, even with just the slightest difference of temperature between the surface and the air. Since only a small difference between the air and surface temperatures is needed for sinking to occur, and because it happens so consistently over both land and water, this atmospheric phenomena can trick a person into thinking that they've witnessed physical curvature of the Earth's surface.
You see here the U.S. standard atmosphere.
Jeez, another one. I want everyone to remember that even in this, there's a physical object blocking everything. And when it pans through
both land and water, this atmospheric phenomena can trick a person into thinking that they've witnessed physical curvature.
Just notice that they're lower than where that truck is. They're lower than where the house is. They're literally looking over a curved surface for this effect. This isn't an effect that like happens on a flat ground and suddenly it appears to be.
Of the Earth's surface.
You see here, the U.S. Standard Atmospheric Chart assumes that there is no water vapor, okay, which is unfortunate because water vapor gradients have the biggest effects on RF propagation. It says in a real atmosphere, humidity is more variable than temperature or density. And this is what they have to do for their globe model to work, because light refracts up.
So for the globe, what he just said, so everyone understands, for the globe model to work, he's saying that our understanding of how light works with temperature and land and water means that we have to do that to make. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I would think more
Yeah,
of we got an understanding of these things, and those are how we understand these things working on a globe. Not we make these things to make it a globe.
And here's absolute proof of that. Lasers bending upwards. That's all we ever see when we step to the side and get a slight orthogonal view. We never see them bending down, which is what would have to happen on a globe for us to see them in the first place. But we always see them bending up.
Another ridiculous misconception, and something to point out that the time of days that these pictures are showing, most importantly, what they're doing it over, which is very important. Him saying that it doesn't ever bend down, and then there being the countless amounts of uploads that are shown where light does bend down, and or more importantly to the denser median, which is probably the most important part of this conversation. Just him saying that alone is ridiculous. He's not even acknowledging what would make light do this. He's just saying it.
There's several examples. This alone destroys a globe. Please give me one demonstration of a laser
this
bending
fucking
down.
video.
It's critical to
That is
remember
not
that things
light
below
bending
true
up.
No.
That is not light bending up. That's a laser that's being shined above you. It's going to create that effect, that appearance, when you look at it end on that way. Jesse Path of Light has done this in a fish tank, where when you look at it from the side, you see you see it bending, refracting downward like it should. But when you look at it from the end, it looks like it's bending up.
And that's just a consequence of perception.
It's just a matter of which direction you've got the laser pointing and where you are in relation to it.
I wonder if he knows that. I bet that's the hard part about Leaky. Is does he know he's wrong, or does he think he's right?
He thinks he's right.
And that's the weird part of having, because like you can have this conversation with a lot of people and you go, oh, they're so full of shit. But I really think Leaky thinks he's onto something. Like, he is one of the few flat earthers that I know that I don't think is doing this dishonestly. I just think he's doing it with zero understanding of what he's saying. I was trying to find the good words to say.
level will never appear above true level, and things above true level will never appear below true level.
The fuck is true level? I mean, true level can be at 0 feet. True level can be at 2 feet. Could be at 100 foot. I don't understand what that part was about. True level is just the level from your perspective. It's not a level. There's no such thing as a true level. What is true level?
Say that flat earthers can't zoom in and pull back the bottom of things. So where's the legs? Let's zoom in and see if we can get the legs back. And what do you know? We're missing the bottom. We zoomed in and there's the leg.
No, you're missing
Right.
17 feet of the damn legs, dummy.
Yeah, that was my.
Go pull out the picture before all this mess happens.
Mm-hmm.
Go pull out
What is
the
it?
one on a nice crisp day,
Matter
and
of
you'll
fact,
see that 17 feet of the bottom of that damn platform is missing right now.
yeah, when this was a big conversation, the first thing I did was I wanted to know what these platforms actually look like. there's something that's every one of these things are always missing that no one even talks about. It's the boat docks that are under them. It's the legs. The legs themselves are at least 20 foot out of the fucking water. At the least 20 foot out of the water. So like what Blue was saying, how much is missing. Like if you go look at schematics of this, like you realize instantly how much is actually fucking in owl. There is a lot missing. That's why when
the entire lower platform down there that's missing, and then 17 feet of steel below that platform.
Yeah, it's very bad that they use this for everything. And then my favorite part about this is he goes, let's zoom in and see if we can bring those legs back. Same amount there.
Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Amazing. Not a thing changed.
Yeah. And this is the picture where you know for sure a lot's missing. For sure. And mind you, people, there's a dock that runs the whole bottom of these things, and they're big.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Never go below. No reason why it should be below my eye level. Ever. Ever. For any reason.
So never for any reason. And your tunes say the same thing. Never. Ever. So not like this one here, huh, Sean? Or how about this one here?
Basically straight out eye level. I'm about 4 feet above water up there. And out there is New Dungeness Lighthouse. And it's entirely above eye level. It hardly even looks distorted. So I've got this theodolite set up straight and level. And that ship is above eye level. And I've got my tripod sitting nice and spot. And I'm measuring the angle to the surface of the water. So I can put my crosshairs right at top of the water. And look at that, it's 3 to 4 arc minutes above eye level. So the water level is appearing 3 to 4 arc minutes above eye level.
So there's.
And I let that play through for a very important part, because if you noticed, Jesse never said full sentences. He never said full sentences when he was talking. Jesse said a lot, due to the conditions. His conclusions were due to the conditions. Past observations where he didn't see these things. Like when he said, and it was very telling when he said, and there's very little distortion. That's him saying, for the amount of atmospheric conditions that are happening, it's not as blurry as I thought it would be. But it's still, he was fully acknowledging it was an atmospheric conditioning happening, and it wasn't just normal situation of shit being above eye level for no reason. And then here it gets better. Ready for this? If that were the case, Brian Leakey just disproved flat Earth. Think about that for a second. Disproved flat Earth, because if objects are above eye level at the horizon in perfect conditions, no miraging, nothing happening, then it's not a fucking flat Earth.
He disproved it when he said that the horizon is constantly moving.
Well, the horizon is constantly moving.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, yeah. That'd be the other. Yeah. See, he's not there. I could see that real. The chat says Leakey's going to become concave.
The horizon moving doesn't prove or disprove anything other than refraction.
That we know light does something.
It proves refraction, that's for sure. It proves that this is one shitty way of trying to figure out what the shape of the planet is.
Yeah. And even more difficult when you misconstrue everything about it. Everything.
There's a hostile witness, a glober, Jesse Gordon, showing 3 examples of the horizon appearing above eye level. So this long distance bullshit reciprocal zenith angles and arc of the parallel survey, all these long distance observations are worthless. Worthless. But I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that refraction using light rays does not work in reality the way it has to work on a globe. They claim that light is bending down, making objects appear higher, and I'm going to show how that cannot possibly work.
During the test, after opening the door,
I don't think Leaky understands reference. Because I remember this conversation, and before I figured it out, how difficult it was to understand when someone first says it to you. When someone says, like, Black Swan is a perfect example. When someone says, which way is the light bending? And you go down, and they look, and we're also telling them at the same time that that object is appearing higher. I think that's what's confusing them. I think a lot of the times what these people are doing are they're referencing how light works from the object and not their fucking eyeballs. Like they don't understand that how light travels. That's the biggest issue, I think. What's up, Pico? What's up, Sean?
The temperature at the surface showed 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and from a few feet above the surface, 53 degrees. Here's the
So it's colder, closer to the surface.
Wait, okay. Was that temperature? I'm so confused. Did he just...
Bending down, making objects appear higher, and I'm going to show how that cannot possibly work.
During the test, after opening the door, the temperature at the surface showed 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and from a few feet above the surface, 53 degrees. Here's the
So it's colder, closer to the surface.
Is he about to do what I think he's about to do?
Yeah, congratulations, Brian. 50 is less than 53. Yes, sir.
Is he trying to make light work? Oh my God.
Brilliant observation, Brian.
Because that's all that observation is going to show. That's it. That's it. Wait, does he think he's going to bend light with this? Wow.
Man, just watch.
So the light is supposed to be refracting down toward the denser medium.
During the test, after opening the door, the temperature at the surface showed 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and from a few feet above the surface, 53 degrees. Here's the flashlight from the viewer's perspective at the start of the test. Now, we open the door.
In all three examples, the lights completely disappear. So if it were light rays that were heading above our eyes and bending down...
What the fuck just happened? I am at a loss of words for how he thinks.
I'm still trying to figure out where it completely disappeared. Because even when it went and dipped past the horizon there, right, you can still see the halo in the background.
From a few feet above the surface, 53 degrees. Here's the flashlight from the viewer's perspective at the start of the test. Now, we open the door.
In all three examples, the lights completely disappear. So if it were light rays that were heading above our eyes and bending down, making the lights appear higher, then they wouldn't completely disappear. No matter how much they bent, they would just appear higher and higher. That kills their eclipse explanations, their sun...
Wait, didn't he just explained why we know light doesn't obstruct objects in the distance like we're seeing? He literally just explained that. I don't think he understands this.
That or he's a very convincing shill.
No, he's not that smart. I'll say that.
I didn't say he was smart.
There's got to be a level of smartness to be in a show, though.
No.
Sunset
Just have to be able to regurgitate information.
I didn't think you were actually going to.
Oh, it's still going. My bad.
I have some numbers. Hold on. All right, what do you have?
29 degrees, 40.0 planar height, but truthfully, I found out then that it's the globe that hijacked radius from planar trigonometry.
So here's the math to back up that claim. And here is my...
This is the one part in this whole debate between Lael and Leaky that I was pissed I didn't hear stop the fucking upload, because this would have been the perfect opportunity to go, Brian, explain this, because I guarantee you Brian doesn't know what the fuck he's looking at.
No, he has no idea.
Because I'm looking at it right now, and there's so much missing from looking at this and going, oh, okay. And they're literally just numbers jotted down. There's nothing to compare, contrast.
Yeah. What is this from?
Some upload he probably found and cut up real nicely to make it seem like it had a point.
Hang on, I gotta look at this on the bigger screen.
How is A the unknown angle? Oh, I'm sorry, how is B the unknown angle? That's what I meant to say. Celestial refraction. True distance. And I know he didn't write this down because I've seen his handwriting. It is not like that.
All right, I have nothing. It looks like a bunch of numbers in a triangle to me.
Yeah, there's.
I kind of get the trick that they're using, but I don't see the pertinence. Like I have nothing else to go on.
Because what he's doing is he's taking numbers from something else, and he's seen it and gone, oh, okay, and then equated it with his. These numbers don't work on his. That's why it doesn't make any sense.
These numbers aren't putting a bunch of physics equations on a coffee mug and calling yourself a scientist.
Yes, that's exactly what he does. And I know for sure because Leakey does grade checking, which is so far below surveying. It's not something you could ever say you are, but he acts as if the things he knows about grade checking equate to surveying, and it's rude. It's fucking rude.
A refraction model based on a humidity gradient, which according to the U.S. atmospheric chart is more important than density or temperature. So McToon won't let us use an AE map or a Gleason's map in his Celestial Navigation Challenge. Let me get this straight, Toon. We can't use a flat Earth map in your flat Earth Celestial Navigation Challenge? As much as you dog that...
Mind you, after Brian left, or not Brian, I'm sorry, Lael left, and I did start talking to Brian about this, about certain aspects of the debate. I asked him about this part. It was very important that I asked him about this part. And he basically was like, I know the AE map is a projection of the globe. And your typing is loud.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
I know, he's like, I know the AE map is a projection of the globe. I don't contribute it that way. And he, at the end, he goes, I understand why McToon isn't allowing it now. Or not now. He just made it seem like he knew that why MC Toon had done that. And he double speaks a lot more than he used to. It's very, very odd.
that map out and say how it's worthless, but we can't use it in your Celestial Navigation Challenge. Is that right?
The Gleason map in the patent says it's an extortion from the globe. That's why you couldn't use it, because it's labeled as an extortion from the globe.
Another one of Toon's lies through interpretation. Look at what Gleason's referring to as far as the extortion of the map from that of a globe. He's talking about the straightening out of the meridian lines. He's talking about the mathematical definition. That was the patent on screen. And there's the mathematical definition. To the extent of which curve departs from being planar. So do you think Gleason meant he's hijacking the globe?
All right. Now, there we go. So, all right. So there's your beginning, Leo. Did you want to rebuttal on anything, or would you like Brian to start his point on?
You can just...
Brian, just a quick question. So is the main topic MC2's lies, or is it how the horizon rises to appear to rise to eye level, or is the debate about how light bends?
Let me clarify, because I didn't mean to put that in. I forgot to clip it out, but I'm not trying to make the claim that Toon owes me money. I know he had some laid out rules in that, but I just thought it was interesting. But I meant to clip that out. But in case it was B-ball or somebody, and he started talking about distances in the southern hemisphere or whatever. I just wanted to have a little something in there to cover the fact that we can use an AE map for celestial navigation, and proof of that is, and what I meant is the lie by like omission. Like he's making it seem like when we hear the word extort, it's like you think of court or something like extortion, something bad. But Gleason obviously meant that. I pulled up the patent. He meant it in the mathematical sense where it's straightening out from a curve from a plane. So I just thought that was kind of dishonest, but I'm always mucking with MC2, we're back and forth on that. But I'm not making the claim he owes me money for the cell nav challenge, just to get that straight.
Okay, that didn't answer my question, though.
Then, yes, Lael, it would be, why does the horizon appear to rise to eye level? That essentially would be his claim to it.
Okay.
Is that the debate topic or refraction?
Lael, if you could re-ask.
I just want everyone to notice something. I'm not sure if you can see it on screen. I don't think you can. We're an hour into this debate right now. At this point, an hour into the debate. I'd say 40 minutes because Brian was a little late. But 40 minutes into this, Lael still hasn't figured out what the conversation is about yet.
I brought up like 4 different points during that video.
Yeah, you're right.
And I purposely
Re-ask your question, Lael, and I'll be more direct. I apologize.
Okay, just one moment. I purposely wanted to listen to the whole video and not interrupt it because I didn't want to straw man what your topic was. So I heard about 3 or 4 different topics there. Which of those 3 or 4 topics is the one you prepared for?
How about we start with the definition of horizon and what it is. Let's just discuss that. And like I said, I'll be more direct on questions, man. But I didn't want to. I had to, make that statement about Tune because I don't want everybody saying that I'm going around saying he owes me money. Sorry, but I'll try and answer your questions more directly, Lil. But we can discuss the causes of the horizon, and we can discuss whatever you want. I think they all kind of link together as far as refraction and the horizon go. But if you want to ask other questions, I'll try and be more direct, man.
Okay, I'm about to ask a yes/no question. I'm not expecting the answer to have anything to do with anything but the word yes or no. Okay?
Now, anyone who knows Lael will agree with this. I think this point right here in the debate is where Lael lost and had no clue, because everyone knows that Lael is very abrupt. Like, he's very pushy. I call it hostage or conversation hostaging. But what Lael will do is keep your feet to the fire, and he will press and press and press, and he will ask for specific yes or no questions, even if they're not available, right? You got to explain more to it. Brian answered it. He was just like, yes. And I think the fact that he didn't have to go through the asking it and saying he wants this 85 times, because that didn't happen, it threw his whole game off.
Go ahead, is the definition of horizon that you accept as a flat earther the apparent line between either the earth or the water on the ocean and the sky, where those two things meet? Is that your definition? So I don't want to straw man you.
I'm good with that.
So I guess we can talk about refraction as it relates to that. Do you think that refraction can affect things, how it appears on the horizon, or do you think that refraction doesn't affect things on the horizon?
I think it does affect the horizon and things on the horizon almost mutually, with some exceptions.
Okay. And so if I'm standing at the beach next to you, we're probably about the same height, 6 foot, somewhere in there. And our eyes are above the level of the ocean because sea level is below our eyes, correct?
Correct.
On the flat Earth, what is the distance to that apparent line where the sky and sea meet? On average, obviously, refraction can change that, but on average, what is that distance?
On a clear day, about 3 miles.
3 miles.
Yeah.
So if I see objects that are obviously at an altitude above my eye height appear to drop below the horizon, how does this occur on a flat plane? Or sorry, on a level plane?
Refraction. And also just perspective beyond the horizon. But, you know, that last part's kind of speculation, I think. I'm kind of taking a dive into that. Plane reality's been covering that too. I think when it comes to the horizon and in the distance, there's still, as Andrew Thomas Young would put it, you know, the science is undone.
So me and you are standing
Dodge
at the
question,
beach,
Will.
and yeah, sorry, I thought I had it on mute, so I muted my unmute. So me and you are standing at the beach, and we're watching a plane go overhead, and we all know that planes fly about, let's say, 30,000 feet, which is about 5 miles or thereabouts. Would you agree with that distance?
Yeah, between 5 and 6 miles, sure.
Between 5 and 6. And you say because light bends, if I mess up what you're saying, correct me. Because of how light bends, if that plane gets far enough away and appears to go underneath the ocean, that is light bending so that occurs? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely.
Off real quick. No, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Trust me, you guys are not missing anything. I'm just going ahead of the part where Lael decided to not rage quit. Oh, Jesus.
I couldn't do it, so I...
On days, night, Lil, I wish you would. Now, you would agree that
in this observation, we're going to stay at a high enough elevation so that we always see the whole building. Where the ground is never going to be part of this, right? For this part of it right now. But the further away we go from it,
so as you back away, you're going to get higher, right?
Yeah. So basically, that you're going to get, it's going to become unresolvable and compressed. Correct?
Sean?
Yeah, it's going to get smaller and smaller. It's going to get. So if you back,
but that's exactly the reason I set the base of the thing at eye level.
Yes,
whatever it is, the building.
All you've done is change your viewer height, Lil. You just made
a
6-foot viewer height 0.
Guys, stop.
Lil,
hang on a second, because this is going towards both of you, and because the issue is you both are talking past and at the same time saying things that are not obvious enough. Okay, I just want to finish this off real quick. No matter, so if we're at an altitude, that will say that so we can always see the building. The further away you go, the least or the more unresolvable it will get, to the point where its angular size will shrink and it may even compress. Okay, now here's where the question starts for Brian. Brian, at what point would that building that we're talking about be obstructed at all?
You say the top of the building?
What I'm asking, what part would be obstructed?
I don't think we'd ever lose. I don't think we'd ever lose the top of the building before the atmosphere blocked it. If it's that tall, if it's something a little smaller, then we would see it converge.
Okay. Well, so
as we back away, the top of it would converge to the ground.
Okay. So based on what you said, and I just want to make this for clarification, you have distinguished that Rayleigh criteria does not obstruct.
Rayleigh criteria converges. It's which it appears as obstruction. You could call it obstruction, but
Nope. It would be
obstruction is not the right
conversion.
word. And I would say
Yeah.
this: I challenge both of y'all. This
What's that?
show me something like at least 200 or 300 foot tall. Let's say, show me something 300 foot tall, going off the distance, completely disappear. I don't think you'll be able to find it. I've yet to find it. If something is big enough,
I got fairies.
it'll only disappear due to strength. Yeah, I want to see it completely disappear.
Okay.
That's if you could show me an example, it's going to be a rare one, because something big normally just shrinks off, and by that time the atmosphere blocks it. But smaller things, small enough to converge due to the eye's resolution limit, then you'll see them converge into the ground, but pretty much. But I'd like to see something real big completely disappear, because 9,999 times out of a 1,000 or whatever, that it's just going to shrink to a dot. Or basically the atmosphere itself is going to block it, or refraction is going to block it.
So what you're saying is,
Cheers, Brian.
I know you've seen this one before, right?
I've seen the Rocky fucking Mountains disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Are those big enough for you, Brian? I've driven across Kansas. You can see the Rocky Mountains disappear, for God's sakes.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Again, I don't like why. I don't know what was wrong with Lale. I really don't know what was wrong with him. It was insane, because as much you guys are hearing him talk is how much he talked. The one with the fair, he'll be rage quitting very soon. But at this point in the whole debate, it was like he hadn't said anything, so like I had to start talking. It was like otherwise we were just sitting there silently. Like Lale just shut down after the first 10 minutes. It was so weird.
The
That
cruise
goes
line.
off into the one with the big
Yeah.
ferry and stuff. Okay, so if that one is going off into the distance, and that I'm pretty sure you've seen that when it disappears into beyond the horizon. What you're saying is it should compress itself and shrink to its angular size should shrink before it goes off into the distance.
Yeah. You gotta watch it unzoomed, Sean. Like I said at the beginning, we've been spoiled with these zoom lenses. An unzoomed lens, we're going to see that thing. It's going to disappear way before. Now, if we zoom in, we can then resolve it. Okay, but and I'm talking about something a little bit bigger than a ferry. A ferry is within the limits of the atmosphere's visibility. I'm something a few hundred foot tall, like a cruise ship or something. I'd like to see something that size disappear due to Earth curve or resolution.
What about just a ship or a building that we know is that tall?
Yeah, like the Chicago skyline or the mountain I showed in the beginning.
Going through my pictures.
You can't see the mountains behind LAX. We know they're there, and we know even on well, maybe they might not be there on a ball Earth, but in reality, we know it's there.
It's just
behind
beyond,
LAX. Until we
curve.
pull out the infrared, though, we can't see it because.
Okay, so this I gotta do.
No. Well, then how come when we pull out the infrared, then we've seen it? Like
that's the problem. We don't.
Can I try and present?
But that's the thing. When we do this with like Travis's, you said something about Travis earlier. You know, Travis fully says that there's no way you can bring something back into view, right? Hang on, let me show you this real quick.
With infrared, it's not the fact that you're bringing it back into view is a bad way to describe that.
So this object, when it disappears, so hang on, I want to show you something. So here, when this object is clearly obstructed, right? It's very clear.
Yeah.
Now,
you wouldn't see that without this.
Now, but what you're saying is this. You're saying that what we're seeing is it becoming unresolvable and compressed. But if it's with no obstruction, then it should also be doing the same thing sideways, and it's not. It's just as big sideways as it
Bro,
was before.
how many times do we got to show you little boats disappearing on flat lakes? I mean,
Mhm.
Sean, you've been in this for years and years. Show me that thing completely disappear due to earth curve, please. Okay, now no. I want to see it disappear from top.
That was so great. That was my favorite part of the whole night was when he goes, show it being obstructed by earth curvature. I just clicked to the next picture. It was awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Top down. So I don't want a time jump. So just all right, show it. And I'm gonna
Wait,
tell
these
you.
are screenshots from the video.
See, that's no good. Show me a
Why?
video because you're
Why?
It's from a video.
That's a
Brian.
screen jump. You see it starting this.
I didn't like. I was so confused by what he wanted. Like, show me. I'm like, I'm showing you.
These are screenshots from a video. You can watch the video if you want to. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, it's a boring ass one.
Those
too.
don't move that fast, Brian.
Oh,
At
so
least that
great.
boat doesn't.
Disappearing into the right. That's dishonesty. I know you're not dishonest, but whoever did that, the reason they're showing you the screenshots is because you're going to see that thing fade out. The top of it, if it's not refracted, it's never going to just completely go beneath the horizon.
For shits and giggles of the conversation, if we had no curvature and somehow you could explain all this with Riley's criteria, one object, super fucking weird. Anyway, when we were talking this boat disappearing, when it got to that point where you don't see it anymore, what you would have seen the whole time was a big ass ferry getting smaller and smaller until it became a dot. Here's the key. If you were to zoom in, you would bring it all back under those guidelines of it. But the fact that when you do zoom in, there is still obstruction and you are still seeing half an object, there is no way that Riley criteria is even close to this conversation. It's so far from this conversation, it's in a different country. It's insane. I don't get how it gets that far.
Riley criterion has nothing to do with this. Nothing.
Nothing. Not even a little bit. Not even it's like it's not. It's just not.
It's not even a part of the discussion. They don't know what it means.
Yeah, it's.
I've asked them this 1,000 times. Show me how anything disappears as a result of Rayleigh criterion, please.
Yeah.
What has to happen?
Yeah, and I even thought about this for a second. Like, if you flipped it 90 degrees, right? Just the explanation. Even then, there would still be no obstruction. You need two objects to do this, not one. Obstruction has zero to do with it at all. Like you said, Blue, it's insane that Riley criteria even came up as a part of a argument in this discussion, because it really has no determining factor on this. Yeah, Gary by far is the worst when it comes to using Riley criteria in this discussion, and he fully contributes obstruction to it. It's very weird, but if you ask him very clearly, just ask him, in between his rants, if you ask him how he verifies how much refraction is to obstruction, he'll clam up. But that's the big one. You remember, Blue, when we always talk to Travis, my biggest question to Travis is, how the hell do you verify how much refraction is accounts for the obstruction? Because if it did obstruct things like they were saying, there'd be a certain amount. When this much refraction happens, the object will be blocked at this much, and it just doesn't work that way. So yeah, it's very, very odd. And if you guys hadn't noticed, Lale left at this point. He just disappeared. talked for another hour. I'm looking on there to see when Leo comes back. So Leo comes back an hour later. Would run like that. He just
The Lael Bell.
Yeah, he just disappeared and didn't say, "Hey, my mom was calling me. I diarrhea tad." I don't know. Oh, wait, hang on, Lael's here. I think. Hang on, I gotta make sure it's Lael. Hang on, Lael. If that's you, you gotta wait a second. So difficult to do now. Lael, is that you?
It's me.
What the hell, Lael?
Sorry, I got frustrated and my voice started raising, and I don't want that, so I left.
Okay,
Because
hey,
once I start yelling, the other person doesn't listen, and the debate is lost.
Okay.
So
hey,
why I left.
I respect. I can respect that. Absolutely.
And plus, look at my handsome avatar.
God, so weird. So weird. So weird. And that's how the debate went. That and the spectrum, or that and a few other things. Yeah, man. I will say this, Lael. Don't do that again. Don't debate anymore. Debating isn't your forte, my friend. But yeah, with that being said, I actually thought about this because I don't want to tell you guys who the flat earthers yet until it's definite, but it's not going to be this weekend. I have been saying it's going to be this weekend, but I also remembered, even though I planned this out a while ago, I won't be here this weekend, so it won't be any debates. If I can get one during the week, I'll do it then, but it ain't gonna happen. I don't think in that aspect of it because I am going to San Diego, so have that. And why is StreamYard doing that? Hang on. Something is not right. There we go. Yeah, so if anyone does talk to Lael, let him know how terrible of a showing that was. Um, and for the record, I am looking for a Glober, so I don't have to do it. I don't know if I want to say the name. There's actually 3 names. None of them are guaranteed. 2 of them I trust enough to say if they'll do it, they'll do it. One of them is a prima donna, I can tell you that much. All right. To the next topic at hand. I'm trying to look for something. Oh, my screens are messed up. Hang on. So I know Mr. Slave wanted to come on, but it seems like Mr. Slave wants more of a one-on-one. I'd really like to see if he'd get on, but I doubt it. I am trying to find the next thing I wanted to show you guys, but I can't find her at the moment. That's why I should have kept all my files up. Okay, so back to something different besides me searching for stuff. Oh, so Mr. Slave said he wanted to come on, but he wants it to be like a interview or me pressing his positions. But I'm not really giving a F about his ether crap anymore. I've heard it. Doesn't make any sense. He says he's not discounting general relativity, but at the same breath, discounting general relativity. So I think that position is pretty well understood already.
What is his ether crap?
Oh, ether is gravity, basically.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was like the general ether crap or if he had like a sparkly, shiny new version.
Oh, well, let me give you a premise of this guy. He learned quantum mechanics or quantum physics himself 3 months ago. He has now decided that general relativity does not explain it correctly, while at the same time saying that he completely agrees with general relativity and special relativity. And then in the end of this, contributes space time to be the ether.
Okay, so he's looking at it from like a metaphysics standpoint.
He's looking at it from I don't know standpoint, a standpoint which makes zero sense to the average mind. It's very odd. It's very odd because he starts off by saying he just learned quantum physics. It's very weird, with no schooling, all home taught. YouTube actually.
Well, he must be smarter than I am because I took classes and I can't make heads or tails of it.
Well, he figured that shit. Well, that's the funny part because all the best scientists we could ever think of, that we could ever name drop, all think quantum. That all understand that quantum is so complicated, but he thinks he figured it out, and not only figured out that there is an ether that can't be measured. See, I got pulled into talking about him already anyway.
I did invite him. Like I messaged him, I DM'd him, I told him I was like, if you want to come in here and have the floor, you can have the floor.
Yeah, right after that, he messaged me on Discord. There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. Hey.
What's up, sir? How you doing?
Hey, terrific. I heard you talking about me, so here I am.
Yes. I knew it, Spanya. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we were talking about your idea. I didn't really want to do it because we kind of talked about it before, but I got pulled in, and now I'm interested in the conversation again.
Okay.
Some people haven't heard it. I'm not really sure how many, but basically, you are a glober bringing back ether.
You could say basically. I don't know if I would say exactly that, but we can start from that, sure.
Well, which part? Because you are a glober, right? The Earth's a sphere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Science, you're not denying science, right?
Correct.
Newton's laws, all agreed with?
Yes.
General relativities?
Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah.
Okay. Where does the understanding become wrong and where you're trying to correct?
So my definition of science is your definition of science, the mainstream definition of science, but mine is just stricter, significantly stricter. That you could say it goes back to pre-Einstein. So my definition of science is the scientific method, everything is fine, except for a valid scientific theory must be mechanical. No more probability and, like the universe is weirder than we thought it could be. None of that. Like a scientific theory must be 100% mechanical. Otherwise, it's garbage. I don't want to hear about it. It's not science.
But then where does the predicting power happen?
Yeah, that's fine. That's part of the scientific method. That's a good theory should predict. Doesn't have to, by the way, because it might not, but it should make a prediction, and then you should test the prediction, and so on. So I don't have a problem with the scientific method. I'm pro. I'm completely on board with the scientific method. I'm just restricting it to a subgroup of the scientific method. I'm saying only valid theories or scientific theories are those that are mechanical. So, for example, special relativity is not a valid scientific theory. I would say it's an invalid or an improper, it's not gold standard because it's not mechanical. There's no mechanism that explains time dilation. There's no mechanism that explains length contraction or relativistic momentum. There's no It's not mechanical. There's no mechanics. It might as well be magic, and it's based on an assumption. It's based on, let's assume the speed of light is a constant for all observers, which is, yeah.
What would you consider a prediction?
Exactly what you would consider a prediction. I don't have a disagreement with the scientific method. I'm just restricting the scientific method. I'm not allowing what you allow. Like mainstream science allows a scientific theory to be non-mechanical, like special and general relativity. By the way, quantum mechanics is a mechanical theory. That's why, I guess that's why it's called quantum mechanics.
So
So,
so would the issue be you don't like the explanation of it, because the explanation is the description of the mechanic world that you want.
well, special relativity is not an explanatory theory. It's a descriptive theory. Also, Newtonian gravity is not explanatory. It is descriptive. So Newtonian
Okay.
gravity is not a theory. There's no
Yeah, I
Newton's
didn't.
theory of.
There's
So
laws.
I would say it's not a perfect scientific theory. So Newton
There's no
Newton
such
said,
thing.
"What do you mean? There's no
I don't
such
think
thing as
there's.
what?"
I don't think there's ever been. I don't think there's no any no. I think there's no such thing as the perfect theory.
Fine,
Just in the
fine,
fact,
fine. So,
just in the sense of what the terminology of it.
fine. I'm not saying there has to be, but it's imperfect that there's no a good scientific theory should contain an explanation. Like Newton never explained how gravity works. He just
Hmm?
no Newton never explained how gravity works. There's a letter that
I
Newton
don't.
wrote. Yeah, no, well, you tell me. Why does the apple fall to the ground?
Okay, I see what
What
you're saying. Yeah.
causes? Right? There's no
Yeah. No.
explanation.
Nope.
Newton just noticed that the apple falls, and he noticed that the moon basically falls, and he said these two phenomenon are the same. It is a scientific theory. He theorized a bunch of things. That's nice, but he never gave a mechanical reason, a cause and effect by which gravity works.
Well, okay. I'm
And
kind of gonna fast track because I've had this conversation, but I need to ask you this then.
yeah,
What is a creation? What creates? What is the cause of ether?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that put your stance in the same stances that you're trying to explain away that Newton did?
No. So
Why?
because a good scientific theory or a perfect scientific theory doesn't need to explain the entire universe completely. It just needs to peel the layer or the one layer of the unknown proverbial onion. As long as it peels one layer of the unknown scientific onion, that's already a good scientific theory and might be deserving of a Nobel Prize and stuff like that. That's what we consider gold standard. Just peel a layer. You don't have to peel two layers or all the layers.
Well, what do you do after you peeled the first layer?
Somebody will come and do more research, and just like today we're peering into the quantum, like what is the quantum universe. Like before they barely knew that there's atoms, and before they barely knew, like every generation we know more, we peer deeper and deeper. It could be that the next generation will figure out the makeup of the ether, and they'll discover another layer under the ether. Who I don't know. I don't
So
know.
okay, so then where does the I'm confused because the structure that you laid out for why Newton can't have theories, the structure that you laid out for why gravity without a cause can't be a theory, you haven't laid out you're just laid out the same path for why you think ether is correct. Because for me, there's no evidence, no tangible evidence of an ether. I think you would agree with that.
No, I disagree, but it's a different topic. I'm saying that a scientific theory must be mechanical. Newton does not give us a mechanical explanation. It doesn't give us an explanation. It doesn't give us mechanics. So it's
Isn't
not
describing
science.
some isn't describing something an explanation?
No, no.
Why?
If I described you, but that's just my definition of science, my definition of a theory. So I define a proper scientific theory to be a mechanical explanation, a causal mechanical explanation of a phenomenon.
Okay, so
If
when you
you,
say so just for clarification, when you
Mhm.
say a mechanical explanation or lay that out for the layman, because when I hear you say that, I keep hearing you say you want something physical and tangible before
Yeah,
you think of it as a theory. Okay.
yeah. By the
Then
way, quantum.
what would be
Mhm.
the physical, tangible observation or whatever that says ether?
I don't need any more than there is. As far as I'm concerned, there is plenty already. I don't need any more evidence for the ether.
Well, that's what I'm
The
asking you for.
evidence,
I'm asking you what that
no.
tangible evidence is, because you keep
Oh,
saying that it has to be, but then when I ask you, you haven't given me the tangible evidence for ether.
okay, okay. Oh, I thought you'd need any further evidence. Well, the current evidence is plenty. So the current evidence, the best evidence for ether is that the apple falls towards the ground. That's evidence for the ether. More
Hmm.
evidence for the ether. Yeah, more evidence for the ether is that light, see, right? Young double
Look at
slit,
this.
original double slit experiment, light passing through two slits interferes with itself, creates an interference pattern. The only thing we know to do that is a wave. Therefore, light is a wave. Therefore, light must be waving through something. Therefore, that's good evidence for the ether.
Hmm. I think that was a reach.
What do you mean?
I think because so when I do this, because I've heard this conversation with other people, and for me, gravity is very basic, very Newtonian as it is. Um, when you say this needs this, and
Mm-hmm.
then when that same this means this is required of yours, you're giving
Mm-hmm.
me an explanation that takes me away from the answer. So I'll make it. It's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the cause of gravity. I know Newton described what he observed, this phenomena that which he coined gravity. I know
Mm-hmm.
that Einstein explains how said said effect happens in space between
He just
other
described.
objects
He
between
just
other
described.
objects.
Einstein is just an extension of Newton. There's no
Mm-mm.
explanation.
No,
It's just this.
it's different.
No, it's
It'd be
further this. There's
it'd
no
be like
cause.
it'd be like me going.
Einstein
No, you're
doesn't.
right. You're right. No, you're right. I didn't. I never contributed a cause to either one of them. But at the same token, and I mean, I am in full agreement with what we've gotten to so far about Newton and Einstein and their laws and theories that they all came up with. Then my question was, what is the cause of ether? And here's why I asked that. Because if you can't give
Mhm,
me a cause for ether, then isn't
mhm.
it the same? Doesn't that put it in the same spot as gravity? Because you don't know the cause, because we don't know the cause of it.
No, no. Look, let
So,
me try.
so you
Let
don't
me
need a
try.
cause. You don't need a cause. I need a cause.
What do you mean I'm not saying. I don't know what I means. Look, there
Okay.
is. We have a question. Look, we have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the apple accelerate towards the ground? Why does it do it?
In my opinion,
So,
mass
well,
attracts mass.
why?
We don't know the cause.
Okay. So, in my theory of ether, I have the ether flowing through the apple towards the earth and dragging the apple towards the earth. So, I have a mechanical explanation of how the apple accelerates towards the ground.
Okay, so
So
you have a
from a,
phenomena. So you have a phenomena, and you have
Mhm.
coined it ether. That's as far as you've gone so far.
No. That's not what happened. No.
No, okay, that's
So,
me going. That's me going. I'm Newton, and I'm sitting under a tree, and a tree,
hmm
the apple falls, and I go, "Why does it fall?" And I
hmm
go, "It could be this, it could be that. Mass attracts mass. I will call it gravity." That's all
hmm
you've done with ether so far. So far, all you've done is gone. All you said is ether already here is doing this to the apple, therefore ether. That's like me going. That's like Newton going. Gravity made the apple fall, and starting from there. That's why I
no,
asked you that.
no,
Okay.
no.
Then
Newton,
then so
Newton,
then put
Newton.
yourself in the position of Newton. The apple falls. Why did then explain before
He
the
never,
coining of ether?
Newton never asked why does the apple fall, or he never gave an explanation why the apple falls. But he did
Then
say, one second. But what he did say is that which causes whatever that is. I don't know what that is, but
mhm.
whatever causes the apple to fall also causes the moon to fall towards the earth, and the earth
Uh,
to fall towards the sun and Mars and so on.
that's not
That's
what he
all. But
said.
he didn't say what?
That's not what he said. You're
Of course, that's what he.
paraphrasing.
That's.
You're like taking what he said
hmm
and forming it to your argument. But what he was saying,
No.
he didn't say fall to. He said attract. His explanation, his reason for why the apple fell is very
hmm
clear. Mass attracts mass. His equations for all that is his explanation
hmm
for why the apple falls. So you can't say he doesn't explain that. He does. He does pretty well, in my opinion. He does contribute.
The
He contributes the apple falling
why
because mass attracts mass.
why 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 does mass attract mass? What causes that?
Again, if we're going to ask me for the cause, I will ask you for the
hmm
cause of ether. And you telling me how ether works doesn't tell me the cause of ether. I'm perfectly fine with you saying, Sean, I don't know the cause of ether, because I can comfortably say we don't know the cause of gravity. Do you see the problem?
No, I don't. Let me say something. Look, when we ask why do two electrons repel each other?
I have no idea.
So we ask, but we know. So this is called gauge theory, and this is called particle exchange. So two electrons exchange a virtual photon. So one electron pushes away that photon and gets repelled. The other electron receives that photon and gets repelled. So two electrons exchange a photon and repel each other. That is a mechanical explanation for Coulomb's law. Now, when I come with the ether flowing through the apple and so on, that's basically, you could say, quantum gravity. I'm explaining gravity in a quantized way at the particle level. I'm explaining the mechanism, just like quantum mechanics. I'm extending quantum mechanics to gravity, which makes it obviously the grand unified field theory, whatever. So
What is the
this is
cause
the
of ether?
or the I told you I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So then if you don't, and that's fine, you don't know. So then when you're making the argument about theories and you're making the argument about specifically Newton, saying
hmm
that he doesn't know the cause of gravity makes zero difference. It's not even, I don't know why you keep saying it, because you don't know the cause of ether either. So
I don't
both situations, ether, gravity at this point in the conversation are just names. How do
know.
you then, if they're not? Okay, so then ether was just made up. It's just bam, ether. No reason, just ether.
Okay, so everything starts from my definition of science. So if we follow my definition of science, then Newtonian gravity is not scientific. Einstein
So
SRG.
Either is
Go
ether.
ahead.
hold on, Sean.
No, ether. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me get in here, guys. So if we follow your definition of science, and
hmm
your definition of science dictates that we have to have a mechanical observance something that is backed by mechanics in order to
Mhm.
confirm something.
No,
Newton has, we have experiments, we have physics experiments that are mechanical in nature that show the phenomena that Newton is describing. What experiments, what models do you have to prove that aether is existing?
the apple falling is the experiment that proves ether.
Yes, and that is a
That's it.
mechanical phenomena, is it not?
It's not, of course, every phenomenon that is observed is mechanical, but I'm talking about the theory that explains.
We have mathematical data to back up why and how that aligns with Newton's laws. It aligns with the formulas that he has.
Yeah, whatever we have, we don't have a
We can
mechanical.
confirm it
Yeah,
through
but
data.
but I'm talking about the explanation. Why does the apple accelerate to the ground? So by
Why? Well,
my
hang on. Why are you keep
Mhm.
when we talk about Newton? Why do you keep referring to because he doesn't know the cause of gravity?
Well, he didn't offer an explanation to gravity, so
Okay,
it
but
Again,
doesn't
you
he's
have
have.
no,
not
no, no.
offered an explanation to aether.
Exactly. That's the
Right.
main point because you keep starting off with how Newton didn't do this. It doesn't have this, and then because of that, I go, well, show me these things in the ether side, and then you go on to this diatribe of something away from the question when it's very
Mhm.
clear what mechanical observation, anything for science, your definition of science, yours
Mhm. Mhm.
is does where does ether run along these strict guidelines that you have for science? Because if anything, your guides for
Mhm.
science means we wouldn't know much of anything, and ether gravity wouldn't be a thing because causes are not understood at all under your guides of science.
Look, so my definition of science is that proper science reveals one layer of the unknown. If it does that, we're good to go. That's a
And
proper scientific.
you're basing this idea off of what?
No, this is my definition. This is
Yes.
just a
How did
proclam.
you gather the information to form this definition?
No, I woke up, I went to sleep one night and I decided from tomorrow morning I'm redefining science. I'm tired of science not being mechanical. Enough of that. I don't like it. I'm going to redefine science and see where that takes me. My
So,
intuition
uh,
was.
so if I say that for
Mhm.
Newton, the apple falling was
Mhm.
that mechanical aspect of it for gravity, would you disagree with what I just said?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
we're
okay.
talking.
Hang on. Now, if I say this, Newton was sitting under a tree and an apple fell and he contributed to ether. Does it fall under
What?
the same bracket of what I just said? If he had said ether, would that have been okay?
No, you have to
Okay.
explain.
Okay, perfect. You have to explain.
Mhm.
Perfect. So between Newton's equations, mass attract
Mhm.
mass, all these things, you don't consider those explanations.
It's no. I mean, it's a description and it's a little bit of an explanation
Okay, so it is an
because
explanation. Okay, hang on. It is an explanation. Now, can you show me an explanation that stands true, right? Because you can do these tests yourself for ether.
you're not letting me finish sentences. It's going to make
Okay,
a very difficult conversation.
I apologize. Go ahead.
So, look, you can say that Newton gave us a little bit of an explanation because he said whatever the causes the apple, he did talk about the cause. He said, I don't know what causes the apple to fall, but whatever it is that causes the apple to fall is causing the moon to fall or the moon to be attracted to the earth. You can formulate it whichever way you want. I don't see the difference. So it's he unified the heavens with the earth, which is, it's a good step. He revealed a little bit of the unknown. So we have to give him obviously tremendous credit for that. But for me, it's not fully scientific because he didn't give us the mechanics of what is causing gravity. Unlike quantum mechanics, that we know electrons repel each other, and we know there's boson interaction, there's particle, there's whatever, there's we know the mechanics by which photons, I mean, by which electrons repel, attract, protons repel, and so on. We have a good gauge theory, which makes it quantum mechanics. I'm happy with that. I'm perfectly happy with that. That's perfectly scientific. But gravity, you could say that all I'm offering is quantum gravity. It happens to be that quantum gravity, the answer is we have to introduce a new field, this new fluid, which is the ether, which is very similar to the ancient ether. It's also very different. So that's why I was very reluctant to call it ether. But at the end, I relented and I called it ether. But it's just quantum gravity. I'm just explaining gravity mechanically, which is quantum mechanics. I'm just adding gravity into quantum mechanics. You could say that maybe the particle of the ether, that's the graviton. And we know that the graviton is basically impossible to measure, which is again and again we see that my theory matches with the mainstream physics. So it could be that the ether particle, that's just the graviton. Everything makes sense. There's no issue. I'm just offering the graviton as the ether particle. There's no reason to get upset.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you're saying that this is all just stuff that we already have in place and you're just wanting to change the wording around.
No.
Is that not what you're saying? Because that's how it sounds.
No, it's not. I mean, I'm
you're
saying,
okay, instead of calling it gravity, let's call it ether.
No.
And
No,
instead of calling it a boson, let's call it this. That's what I'm getting from it.
No.
Okay.
No,
Mr.
I'm
Slade,
not.
hang on. Well, hang on.
No.
Mr. Slade,
Wait.
would you say that the way science describes everything is correct?
Hold on. Let me just reply to her. She asked me a question. You're not letting me respond. You're asking me more questions. It's just gonna make it's gonna make my position really weird because you're not letting me defend it. Anyway,
That's valid.
right. So look, I agree there is gravity. I'm not changing gravity. I'm saying there is gravity, just like I'm not changing the repulsion between electrons. Quantum mechanics added quantum field theory and gauge theory and particle exchange. It's added, as a layer underneath Coulomb's law. It's added to explain as a mechanical explanation to Coulomb's law. So I'm not changing gravity. I'm not changing Coulomb's law. Quantum mechanics didn't change Coulomb's law. It didn't rename Coulomb's law. It's a layer under Coulomb's law. So I'm explaining and I'm giving a mechanism under gravity. I'm asking what is causing gravity. I'm not changing anything in mainstream physics. I'm not touching anything. I don't need to touch anything. But we do need to add gravity into the elementary table, what a table. I mean, somebody needs to resolve quantum gravity.
Should it be added? But should it be added before understanding?
I don't understand what you just said. What? I don't understand the question.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so you're saying that everything is right, but they need this.
Yes. Of course.
Okay.
There's you look up right now quantum gravity. Tell me how gravity works at the quantum level. I'll be the first one to be happy to accept there's no answer. No one has there is no quantum gravity theory.
Okay.
So this is
hang on. Okay, that's where I wanted to get to. So when you're adding this thing called ether, what have you used to come up with this besides just I thinks?
I don't understand the question.
How is it that you figured out there's something beyond space-time on the quantum scale and science hasn't. Where's the issue there?
Everything, fortunately, was streamed live on YouTube. It's all available. I mean, what happened was about 3 or 4 months ago at this point, I had a debate with a person called Mandibles for 5 hours, basically, after which I decided to redefine science. And I didn't think that redefining science would bring me to ether. I basically never heard of the ether. I couldn't care for the ether. I was like completely on board with mainstream. I didn't like all the quantum, wave duality and superposition and entangle. I didn't like it, but and Bell's theorem. I didn't like it, but and I was tired of debating people to the point in a debate that they said, well, quantum mechanics says everything goes, anything goes. Therefore, I can never point or pin anyone down in a debate, and I just got tired of that. So I just decided one night before I went to bed after that debate, I'm redefining science. From tomorrow on, it's going to be 100% mechanical. I'm not joking. I did not expect to come up with a theory of everything, but there we are. Through like a month later, I have a theory of everything.
So,
That was not my intention.
so I'm gonna get this straight. A month of YouTube research, you've come up with the theory of everything.
Yeah, you can see the evolution. You can see exactly how it happened. You can see the titles of the videos. Like it used to be debates about general topics, basically never about physics. Hardly ever I debated physics. I didn't care that much for physics. And it was mostly about philosophy, philosophy of science, philosophy of logic, philosophy of math, philosophy of
Yeah.
philosophy.
So I wanted to ask you about that because isn't there something to be said with respect towards traditionalism? Like you are essentially saying that I am going to remove all the context of previous years and on my own sovereign authority say this science is wrong because I looked at a bunch of YouTube videos for 3 months.
That's not what happened.
That's
That's
how it
not what
sounded.
happened.
Wait, what back? Okay, so then what science background do you have?
I usually don't discuss. I usually don't discuss my personal information. I try to remain anonymous, and I don't think it's a good idea to move to ad hominems. Like it shouldn't
What?
matter if
And
There's
that's
no ad
not an ad
homs.
hominem.
No.
That was me paraphrasing exactly what you just said.
no what Sean just
I,
said. No ad
it's
hominem.
not.
No,
Yeah,
No,
what I said isn't an ad hom. I just asked what background you have because what you're saying is that
hmm
the things that it takes decades to understand and learn, and this is to come up with something that
I
you've done
don't
in months.
understand.
So when I ask you what the
I don't.
background was, it's so I have an understanding that one, the basics is understood. Two, that the the the, the extremely difficult things to understand you understand because you've now you're putting things in brackets of I saw this is wrong and I fixed it. And it does take a background to do that. I'm sorry. You can't come up with a theory of everything uh, with only a few months of YouTube experience or documents or looking into it. So that's why I asked that question, because if you had a background in physics prior to, it would make more sense to what you're saying.
Well, I'm a free person. I'll do whatever I feel like it. No one's going to stop me. And
yeah,
here I am.
That's fine.
that's fine, Mr. Slave. But I do
Mhm.
want to address what you said. It is not an ad hominem, okay? If we are asking people who are experts in their fields to give their expertise, we expect them to have some form of credibility. That is just common sense. So if you are going to make a claim, I need to know why you are credible.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Otherwise,
Well,
how can I take your
I'm
claim at
not.
face value?
But I'm not arguing. This is called the ad hominem.
It's not an ad
Um,
hoc. Stop saying
It's
that.
let
not.
me
It's not at
let me
all.
just let me finish a sentence.
An ad
So
hominem is a
let
personal
me.
attack, is it not?
No, it's not. No. That's a personal attack. I'm not talking about that. No, there's an ad hominem logical fallacy. The ad hominem logical fallacy would be my argument is correct because I am I'm saying it, or because of this person said it, or this
No.
argument, hold on, this argument is incorrect because this person said it. I'm referring to a person. So an argument, whether it's true or false, should not be based on whoever said it. This is called ad hominem, referencing the person. The person saying the argument has exactly 0.0 to do with the argument. So I'm presenting an argument. It has nothing to do with who I am or anything about me. So you either you like it or you don't like it. So when you hold on, hold on. Let me just
You've put it on a little while for a minute now. You've monologued quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to respectfully interject so that I can say my point before I forget it. Firstly, an ad hominem is a rhetorical strategy where someone attacks a person making the argument. I did not attack you. I asked what your credibility was.
right. So I answered.
And hang on, and that that fallacy, the fallacy
Just
you just
before-
brought up, and the fallacy you just brought up is just a tactic of doing what she just described. What I did was not an ad hoc. All I did was ask you what your credibility was, because if someone were to say, I am an expert at this, even though I have no time doing it, then they are not credibly an expert. It does matter to what your field, the time you've had in this field, to understand whether or not what you're saying has weight or it is just your opinion. And that matters in this conversation. I can't teach physics because I don't have the qualifications to teach physics. But what you're saying is I'm teaching physics, but I don't have to tell you if I have experience teaching physics. It's not an ad hoc. It's literally figuring out if what you're saying is something that is 1,000% your opinion, or you have some evidence backing what you're trying to say. That's all the question was framed around.
Anyway, so either you're going to ask me questions about my theory, you're going to cross-examine my theory, you're going to disprove my theory, or not.
Okay.
Or,
I
or,
can. Okay.
Or,
How do
or
I
accept-
measure?
or ex-
How do I measure your ether at my desk?
So the ether is the apple falling. So if you measure the apple, or if you feel your weight, that's the ether. That's
Why
how
should
you
we
measure
call it
it.
ether
You're
and not
just
gravity?
you're just replacing a name.
I'm not.
Okay.
You
How
are.
about this? Okay. Does ether have a constant rate of fall?
I mean, the ether is a fluid that.
Does the apple fall at 9.8 roughly due to ether?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus. Okay. Can a rocket, if I'm firing a rocket, can I use ether's equations to launch a rocket? And do they look
There's no
exactly
ether.
like? Okay.
There's no ether equations. There is Newtonian gravity. Usually we use Newtonian gravity. I'm not denying. How many times do I need to repeat myself? I'm
Okay, so then what
completely.
is the
Hang on.
point then, Mr. Slave? No, hold on. What is the point then? If you're not denying it, if you adhere to it, if you agree with it, why do you feel the need to change the terminology? Why do you
I'm
feel
not
the need
changing.
to
You
add
keep.
on to it?
Why do you keep saying that I changed
Okay.
terminology when I
What is
already?
different? Hang on. How
literally
about this?
did.
How about this, Mr. Slave? What is different between the explanation of gravity and your ether? What's different?
There is no explanation of gravity except for my ether.
Okay, there is. We have Newton and we have Einstein, so you can't say that.
Those are descriptions.
That explain a phenomenon.
No, they don't. They just
Yes, they
describe
do.
it.
They do,
Yeah,
and
that
they're
is.
back.
Then
That's
why
exactly
does
what that is.
fine? Why does the apple fall according to Einstein or Newton?
Gravity.
Because of gravity.
What
Now,
causes
watch
gravity?
this. Watch this. Watch this. Okay, fine. What causes the apple to fall for Newton? The ether, right? Now here, yeah, okay. Now here's where I'm going to make this very clear because he's done it a million times. This is where he's now going to go get completely away from my question and explain something that doesn't even close to answer my question. What is the cause of ether?
I don't know.
Okay, so then
However,
why? Okay, so then what is the difference between your ether and gravity?
so I explained multiple times. We're going by. Hold on. Look, you don't look. I don't want you to get upset. Honestly, we're not
I'm
here
not upset at
to.
all.
Okay. So
I'm just
look,
trying to figure out what your point is.
that's fine. So look, we're having this discussion with a premise. We're following my definition of science. So this
Oh yeah.
discussion, look, so I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what to tell you. Like within my definition of science, we're completely conformal to my definition. We're conformal to all of mainstream science. Plus, we're adding a theory of everything. I don't see the issue. I
If
mean,
if
it's a
I
proper.
started if I started listing off a bunch of laws, theories that Newton and Einstein came up with, would you okay, you already said you wouldn't disagree with any of them. So for it not to be gravity and it be ether, what
No,
is the okay, okay.
no.
Okay, fine. You're saying that the apple doesn't fall because of gravity, correct?
Are you at, what are you talking about? I
Yeah, that's why
don't
I'm
disagree. I'm conformal to mainstream physics. How many times do I need to say this?
okay. Then show me your measurement for this ether, your phenomena for this ether.
So all like the apple falls. That's the
It's already
phenomena.
been we've already contributed that to gravity. You've already
But we
agreed
didn't. But
that.
I'm adding one more layer. I'm
Okay, okay.
explaining the
That
mechanics.
perfect. What is the cause of the mechanic that you are describing?
You already asked me multiple times. I don't
And you have
know.
okay, so then where is your theory of everything without answers? Where's your science?
The theory. Look. So I'm adding a layer of unknown. I'm offering a.
It's not a
I'm
theory of
complete. I'm
everything.
giving you.
It's not. You don't have the theory of everything,
What do
do
you?
you?
All
Don't
right.
state that.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now prove. Okay. Make your case. So you're saying I don't have a theory of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
I'll
a
make a
proposition.
case.
Okay, perfect. Ready? Because theories have exponential power, and you cannot explain ether at all.
I look. I don't need to explain the.
Ah, you sure? Because you're just saying that is the necessary thing for a theory, and you have a theory of everything that you can't explain. So when I brought that up, you're now telling me you don't need to be able to explain it. I don't understand where you're coming in this conversation as correct.
So So, according to my definition of science, a proper scientific theory just needs to reveal one layer of the unknown at a time. That's good enough. So, I'm just giving a mechanism for gravity, but also for all of quantum mechanics, also dark energy.
Okay, so what is
Um,
so you come
also,
up
also,
you
one
come up with
second.
a
Let me just.
theory
It's
with
important.
zero
It's a,
observation or
it's
Okay, so
any
important.
you
speculative power.
Let
renamed
me wait. Let me just
the term variable.
let me just add. I'm
Yes.
also I'm also giving the mechanics for SR and GR. So
Oh,
what I'm
Jesus
giving.
Christ.
Wait,
Okay,
but.
that's fine and dandy, but let me make my argument real fast here. You say that you conform to scientific method. You say that you follow science and that you conform to science and you follow the scientific process. You've said that, yes? Okay.
Yes. hmm
Have you formed your hypothesis? Have you tested it? Have you found the data for it? Have you had it peer reviewed? Have you had it published? When
Basically,
you
the
do
end.
all of that, then you can call it a theory.
I'll do whatever I feel like. I'm a free person, and you can.
Sure.
And
But
Okay.
so
nobody will take it serious.
That's why the
that's
questions start. That's why the questions of your background, the questions of your understanding, the questions, the want for an actual explanation come up because you are saying basically this is what you said. Your lack of everything is better than the explanational power that Einstein and Newton had because they don't tell you what a cause is. But that cause is not important for your theory because that just isn't important. That's what you're saying.
So you cut me off. It's
You
not
weren't
not
talking.
only it's well, I was. We can listen to the recording. So,
Okay.
but you got it. Like it's impossible if one of you speaks, then the other, then it's going to be two against one, and then you're going to ping pong between you two, and I'm just listening to how I'm being mocked,
Okay.
and that's not
Then just
interesting to
fine.
me.
Just listen to this one question then. What
Hmm.
is the cause? If you don't know the cause, how do you have an explanational power to say you understand it on the quantum level? Very simple question.
No, that's not a simple question. That was to me personally. I did not understand the question. So, what's your question? Like you mixed in three different questions into one short sentence. I don't know what you're asking. So, clarify, please.
Fine.
What are you asking?
Show me the mechanical explanational power that ether has.
So, ether. Once we assume the ether model, we get special relativity there and general. So,
The problem,
when I
here's
speak,
the problem is this. I ask you a
no.
question, and I've pointed
Mhm.
this out 6 times. I've done it in the chat. I've even done it to you. I ask you a question, and you literally, purposely go somewhere else with it. It's a very simple thing because you asked me this question, and I am literally just re-asking it, and you not being able to answer it shows me that what you're saying is not correct. So I'll ask it one more time, and I'll even give you the preface of why I'm asking it. I say Newton says it's gravity, it's a phenomenon which he tries to explain. You say it doesn't have a cause. Okay. Then you say the apple drops because of ether. I asked you for the cause of ether, and then you tell me it's not important. How is that possible?
I get because of my definition of science.
Okay, so your definition of science is my way, your way wrong. That's your definition of it.
I look, it's my definition of science. I like it. If you like it, you can take it, or if you don't
So
like it, you can leave it.
Hang on,
It's up to
Tex.
you.
So
this,
then you hang on.
I'm
So
sorry.
then you completely understand that why when you have this argument, you have no leg to stand on. You understand that why you get so much pushback is because you have no explanational power to what you're saying. You understand that's not science. You said it. Your definition of science has an explanation. Your theory has no explanation. You're not even going under your guides of science.
I like you're not asking a question.
No,
I'm
no.
not
I
sure
didn't.
what.
I didn't. Right there, I was just telling you that your guides of science, you're not even adhering to.
I
I'm
do have a
completely.
question though.
Wait,
I
no,
do
no,
have
no.
a
One at a
question.
time. One at a time. Look. So the answer is I'm completely compliant with my definition of science. You're welcome to show me
You're
where I'm
not.
contradicting.
Okay.
Fine, show
Does
me.
does in your definition of science, forget the whole thing, does explanation matter?
What do you mean? Yeah, of course.
Okay,
That is
perfect.
my.
Okay.
Wait, hold on,
Okay,
hold on.
perfect.
That is
Can you
my.
explain
Hold
then
on.
then explain to
Wait,
me the cause of
wait.
ether because you need that explanatory power, right? That's the reason
No,
Newton and them don't say enough because they can't explain the cause. What's
but
the cause?
I said a perfectly legitimate scientific theory only needs to reveal one layer of the unknown at a time.
Okay, then explain to me the first layer without the description of gravity.
I don't understand the question. What?
Okay, explain your ether without the descriptive power of gravity. Don't use
My
9.8. Don't use the things Einstein and Newton contribute and call gravity to explain your ether. And if you do, there should be something more. Otherwise, you're just calling gravity ether.
no. Look, it's very similar to how two electrons repel each other through the Coulomb force. Are you familiar with that?
Completely diverting from what I am saying. Again, why doesn't yours have a
Look,
cause and mine does? And doesn't why
one
does
sec, but
yours
what?
not need a cause
One
but mine
second.
does? No, no.
One second. One
Why
second. No.
does yours not need a cause but mine does?
Sean, come on. Let me say something. Look, this is analogous, Sean. Look, look. If you're look, we're here to basically make each other happy. Like if you're not comfortable, if I'm not making you
No,
happy,
that's deflecting. Stop. Full stop. We're not doing that. Make an argument or quit with the meta.
no, I will
Yeah.
not quit with the meta. No, you're welcome to
No,
kick me off your show.
no, I'm not going to kick you up. I'm going to let you know now. Again, it's this double standards you got going, man. You do it with science. You're doing it with the ad hom thing. I'm doing quote marks so people know. And now you're doing it with this part. If you're going to have a conversation, a good faith conversation, you have to accept questions and comments from the other side, just same way as we have. The difference is that I'm hearing what you're saying and I'm asking questions specifically about what you're calling a theory, and you're not liking it. And I get that. Fine, I understand it. Trust me, it happens to me all the time. But you're not going to sit here and make it seem like we're attacking. You're not going to sit here and make it seem like we're doing something besides just trying to figure out what you're saying. That's all this is.
Look, Sean, let me just say something. Come on. Let me finish a sentence. So the meta, I will say, please, my meta, with your permission. It's important. Look, I have a purpose in life, and that is to enjoy life. And since I want to enjoy life, one of the things that I enjoy, that give me joy, is physics. I'm just curious about the universe. So I'm doing this to enjoy life, to enjoy myself.
Okay.
So as I'm having this discussion, my purpose is to enjoy myself, and I enjoy sharing my knowledge, sharing my ideas, and I'm here to be cross-examined, for my theory to be cross-examined. I enjoy it, but I really want you to enjoy the process and to enjoy my company. I feel that you're not enjoying my company, so I'm just saying that look, I feel that I can hear you and you're upset. That's what I feel.
No,
I don't
Mr.
want.
Slave, I'm sorry. Let me clarify to you. We're both probably autistic as fuck. We enjoy arguing.
Oh, hang on.
So,
I'm not. Well, first of all, I'm not.
well, I'm
trying to argue.
autistic as
Hang on.
fuck.
I'm
I
not trying to
enjoy
fucking
arguing.
argue with you. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what you're thinking, because that's what I do. I'm enjoying
Okay.
this. I do this on every other day basis, basically. Been doing it for a long time. I enjoy the back and forth, but there also comes a point where the back and forth has to come to a conclusion. And when I'm being told something in the same state, when just like you're saying how you're just trying to have fun and tell people your opinions and blah 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 blah, I'm doing the same thing. But when I'm doing it, you're giving me these roadblocks. You can't say this because of this and this and this because there's no cause. But when I'm doing it to you, you're making it a meta issue. That's it. I don't see how you're having fun doing that. The question still stands, because I don't care about the meta part. I am enjoying myself, and I'm enjoying myself more trying to figure out if you understand that your concept is just your opinion.
Yeah, everything is just my opinion, of course.
Okay. Then that's just the
So,
reality of it. Then there's a
But
conclusion.
SR is Einstein's opinion, and Newtonian mechanics
Explanation. It's
but
their
it's his
explanation.
opinion.
Nope, it's their
These
explanation.
no, it's peer reviewed. It's
Yep.
backed by data that is
Tests.
quantifiable.
That's what makes
Yeah,
it. That's what makes it a scientific theory. The fact that it can be tested, can be observed, it can be. You keep asking for this tangible thing, but then when you're asked about your tangible thing, you don't have anything that's tangible about it.
um,
That's what brings me to my question, right? While I can understand having your opinion, when you come into a platform to stand on the soapbox, and explain your idea or your theory, there is an understanding that you want us to believe it for a reason. So why should we believe your opinion? What is it about it that makes it credible? What is it about it that makes it pertinent to us? Why should we care?
right. So without me, you don't have a reason for special relativity. You don't have a reason for Newtonian gravity. You don't have a reason for general relativity. You don't have a reason. I mean that's basically it. I'm giving
I
you at
I
least
I
a
do.
reason. What?
The reason is understanding, knowledge.
No, you don't have a reason. No,
That's the reason. That's the reason for
SR.
it. That's the reason for special relativity. That's the reason for general relativity. That's the reason for Newton's law. That is the reason for science. Knowledge and understanding. That is it.
No. No, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you don't have a reason for SR. SR, special relativity, postulates a constant speed of light observed for all, like in all frames of reference. That there's no reason for that. That's just a postulate. It's just an assumption.
It's just
So
understanding. Understanding of a theory.
no.
It's not?
SR doesn't. No. Hold on. SR doesn't have a mechanical reason. There's nothing. There's no mechanics why time dilates. Einstein never explained why time dilates,
I thought it was the
except
fabric of
for
space.
I don't know
Isn't
what
that
that means.
space time?
No.
Warping
There's
of
no.
space time? That would
But
be
that's
that would,
not a. But that's not a mechanical explanation for why a clock ticks slower. Why does the clock? Why do I look at you moving and I see your clock ticking slower? Why does that happen? There's no
because of the
Einstein
warping of
doesn't give.
space time.
I don't know what
Literally.
that means. I don't know what that means.
Okay. You not
People
knowing what something
should look it
means
up.
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's not a thing, or it doesn't mean
to
it's
me,
not. Well, to
to
you, you're
me,
right. You're right.
yeah.
What you are doing is a form of science, trying to understand and knowledge. But the thing is what you don't know doesn't make everything different.
Look, I'm trying to understand the universe. So I don't understand when Einstein says it's because space-time is curved. I don't know what that means. But my explanation is mechanical. It's because of the flow of ether through the clock that makes it tick slower. Oh,
Okay.
that's fantastic.
Okay. Now, what is the cause of that? What is the phenomenon in which we can measure this ether?
I already answered this question many times. So SR basically, look, SR assumes the speed of light is a constant. So to me, the only reason to assume the speed of light is a constant is if we go with the ether model. If you assume ether, immediately you get the constant speed of light relative to all observers.
Okay. So what
Now
you're
it's
saying, so what you're saying is your ether is 100,000% assumption.
I don't understand what that means. What do you
You
mean?
are assuming a thing
Yeah, assuming. Yeah.
without
Assuming it.
evidence.
Yeah. What
Okay.
what do you mean? Well, I'm postulating ether. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you have to back the postulation?
No, Einstein didn't have anything to back
I'm
his.
not. I'm asking. No. Here's the
Let me
best part, though.
finish.
Here's the thing.
Let me just. But let me
There are
finish.
there are many things that can be tested and experimented to back what these people say. That's why I asked you the question. What
Let
do
me
you
just
have to back what you're saying?
wait. I don't have to. Let me finish. So
Okay, then.
Einstein. Wait, hold. Let me talk. So Einstein postulated the speed of light is a constant. Period. So I'm postulating ether. Period. That's where his paper begins.
Okay.
That's where my paper.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what was your first test?
So the fact that SR is correct, that's a test for ether. The fact
No.
that the apple
Wait.
falls,
Wait. Where does SR ever state that the ether?
SR assumes that the speed of light is a constant for all observers.
Okay, and then you've decided to add ether to that because special relativity doesn't.
No, I didn't decide. I
Oh,
just I decided.
does special
Let me
relativity
finish.
talk about ether?
Let me wait. You're not letting me finish sentences. That's
Because you're
not
not
nice.
because you're not every time I ask a question, you're not answering it. You're going around it. So I have a question for when you make those
You can't.
comments.
You can't do that. Come on. I'm trying to be short and concise, and I'm trying. If you're gonna keep cutting me off, so why am I here? So you might as well just continue talking about me and
Would you
laugh and
okay?
whatever.
Would you like to lecture or would you like to back and forth?
Of course, I want to back and forth, but
Perfect.
Okay, go on. I'll grant you that. Fine, as long as you if you try, if okay, go on.
I'm
I'll
not.
try. Yeah.
It's literally it's just me asking how to verify what you're saying. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. All right, go on.
Okay, how do you verify it?
But well, there's one experiment that might work only because of ether, and that is the vertical particle accelerator, looking for the 11 kilometers a second waterfall of ether to this into the earth. So there might be what?
You're contributing ether again, and I don't. How did you get to there? Because your problem with Newton, and it was he just gave it gravity without a cause. You're doing the same with ether. You're just saying ether's here.
So yeah, I mean, but that's fine. I mean, I'm allowing that according to my definition of science. That's allowed. I'm allowed to postulate. That's not even according to my definition of science. I mean, Einstein did it. Einstein postulated the constant speed of light. He just presented a postulate and
Has
went
it
on
been
from
tested?
there.
Has it been tested?
Yes.
It's a postulate?
Yeah, his postulate, the one you keep referring to before there was time
Yeah.
to test. Has it been tested net currently?
I mean, what do you mean? Has it been tested? I don't understand what you mean.
Is light constant? Can we test it?
You tell me. I mean, he
Yes. Yes.
postulated it.
Yes.
What do you
It's
mean?
been tested.
Yes. I mean,
Okay. He
show me. What do you
postulated that
mean?
light was a
Yeah.
constant.
No, constant
But
for all observers.
upon that, it has been
Mhm.
tested and shown to be correct.
I think it was shown to be correct, which is why he postulated it.
No.
No, it's the other way around. Again, a postulation would be something without the test. It'd be a prediction. It's a
What?
prediction.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. What changed since Einstein? Did you say
A
since then
lot.
it's been like okay, one
Technology.
thing? No, 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 no,
Technology.
no. No, give me you said since then it's been tested and whatever,
Hmm.
verified. So show me. Pull
You,
up
ne-
that. Mhm.
okay. You need me to pull up something that shows testing the speed of light.
Like what changed since before Einstein? As far as I know,
Technology.
no, 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 no. No, what you're saying since then it's been verified and tested. Like how was it how is it different than before? It's like
Technology makes these predictions and conclusions more accurate.
look, Einstein he postulated it, but the point is he didn't prove it. He didn't derive it from first principles. There's no derivation of this thing, which is
It is
countering,
there.
yeah.
Okay, I'll help you out a little bit. Okay, Einstein postulates light's a constant.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Schmo, Mr. Slave, reads
Mm-hmm.
this in a publication.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Slave goes, I don't believe it. I'm going to test it. You go and test it. You go, oh shit, he was right. In whatever median, it is a constant. In a
Mm-hmm.
vacuum, it doesn't slow or speed up. It is a constant.
Mm-hmm.
That is testing the hypothesis.
But it's not. He didn't present a hypothesis. He presented a postulate. He said, "Let's just assume it."
No, he didn't.
What do you mean? That's a definition of a postulate.
So you're
He
telling
said, "Let
me,
me."
that light was never talked about until Einstein.
No.
A postulate is this. It's him taking what's known about
Mhm.
how light works
Okay.
and putting it into his theory. Then
Okay. But he
other
didn't derive
people,
it.
Joe Schmo, Mr. Slave, takes
Mm-hmm.
his paper, his publication of
Mm-hmm.
his postulates, work that's been done prior to his that he didn't do, tests it to verify it. That has been done.
But it was never derived. He never derived why the speed of light. What's the mechanics?
Again,
Why?
again,
Mm-hmm.
the explanation Newton has, the explanation Einstein has, the explanation Einstein has for light. All these things have been tested,
Mm-hmm.
and none of
Yeah,
them,
but tell me.
hang on, and none of them were ever claiming to have the cause. The
Yeah,
reason I
I
keep
have the
saying,
cause.
no, you don't,
I have
and
the.
I know you
Wait, I wrote a
don't.
paper.
Okay,
I
okay,
wrote a paper.
perfect. Please post the paper, because one thing I keep asking you for that you keep avoiding
Mm-hmm.
and not having an answer for is, what is the cause of ether? Because every time I've said anything about gravity, you keep bringing it back to what's the cause of what's the cause of gravity. So I'm going to ask this question: does your paper have the cause of ether?
No.
Then you don't have it either.
No, we weren't discussed the cause of ether when I said I have a paper.
I know you said you had a paper because I don't have a cause, because these guys don't have a cause for gravity. They don't have a cause for light. So I'm
Yeah, the
asking,
way that
so I'm turning it now to you. What is your cause that makes your explanation, your opinion, correct?
So I'm assuming ether. I'm postulating ether. And from this postulate, immediately I derive that the speed of light must be a constant for all observers.
No,
why?
hang on, that has already been verified. Why are you acting as if you just discovered that?
I prove from the ether assumption that the speed of light is a constant.
It
No
was a
one has done
constant.
this before.
It was a constant before your ether.
There was no proof. I have the mechanism.
Okay, so now you're telling me that they didn't test if light was constant in a vacuum
No, they
before
didn't
you.
no, they didn't. Einstein, no one ever provided the reason. No one
You don't have
derived.
no. Your reason, okay, you're saying that everything that happens is because of ether. What is your cause of ether? What is your reason of ether?
Why do you keep going to that? You basically you're changing.
Because you're discrediting all these other things because there's no cause of it. So I'm asking you, what is your cause, so I can decide whether or not the way you discredit why they call it gravity is, I'm trying to figure out if it's the same reason why I'm going to discredit your ether, and then figure out from there why you're not discrediting your ether, because the lines that you set, you're willing to
Mhm.
step over your lines to make your theory, but the actual testable theories you're saying can't be gone past because there's no cause. That's why I keep bringing up a cause, because your step has to have a cause to make my step wrong at this point.
Look, we're assuming my definition of science. Otherwise, there's no point in this conversation. So, in my definition of
At this point, I'm using your definition of science.
okay, so by my definition of science, I am not obliged to give the ultimate cause of everything. I'm just
Uh-huh.
obliged to give a single cause to explain a single phenomenon.
Okay.
That is a legitimate scientific
Ah,
theory according to
okay.
my definition.
Then, under your definition, gravity is the single
Hmm.
cause for why the apple falls. Now,
No, no.
beyond what is the cause of gravity isn't important. I just gave you the reason why the apple fell. Just like you're giving me the reason why ether does everything. Without the cause of it, I'm giving you the cause of the causal effect of gravity. Same thing.
I I don't know what you just said.
I just said the same exactly. I said the same thing you've been saying. Gravity is the causal effect to why the apple fell. The same way you're saying ether is the causal effect of why that apple fell. There's no
Look, all
difference in what I
look,
just said between us.
look, look. So I I noticed that an apple falls, and I asked around, hey, does anybody know what causes the apple to fall? And
Gravity,
you
if
know,
that's the case. If you want to play
no,
that game,
that's
it's
the
gravity.
question. no,
No, if
no.
that's the
The
case,
question,
it's gravity under your
no, no,
guides.
no, no,
Okay,
no,
how about this,
no.
Mr. Slave? Do me a favor. Ask
Hmm.
yourself the same
Hmm.
question to yourself, and then answer it. I guarantee you, it
I
will be the
don't.
exact same answer I give. Ask
No, no,
the,
no,
you know that you know the
no.
question. You're about to ask me the question.
Hold on,
Ask yourself the
hold on,
question, but
hold.
use
Let me talk.
ether.
Let me talk a little bit. Hold on. Look, gravity is just another name for the fact that the apple falls. It's
Phenomena.
the it's a phenomenon that we noticed that apples fall and the moon is attracted and the solar system is hanging together. We
9.8, the
named
whole nine. Yep.
yes, yes, yes. We named that gravity. And I
Yes.
am coming and I'm asking, oh, it's very nice that we have a good description and we unified all of
No,
gravity. That's fine. But
no.
no, no, no.
We
Hold
haven't
on.
unified all of gravity. Don't do that. We haven't.
What do you mean, gravity?
Mainstream science has never claimed to have fucking done that. Unified gravity? What the fuck?
Like Newton unified the reason why the apple falls, he unified it with the reason why the moon is attracted to the earth. He knew
You're using unified wrong.
whatever. It's not. I'm not here to do this. Whatever. Use whatever word you want. Like before Newton, no one. I don't think anyone came up with the notion that whatever causes the apple to fall is whatever is causing the celestial bodies to be in orbits. No one, I don't think anyone considered that there's a unification between celestial mechanics and apples falling. So I think this was so. I think this is called Newton's unification. Like he unified celestial mechanics with falling bodies on Earth. So,
It's not a
so he did
unification.
that. It doesn't matter. That's not my argument. It's not
I
important.
I understand it's not your argument, but in the sense of a conversation, it's very important.
Okay, so then remove the word unification from the conversation. He explained that it's the same equation that explains why celestial mechanics also explains an apple falling. All right, that's all I mean to say, which is nice. I do, obviously this is a tremendous contribution to humanity, but right, I'm giving him every bit of credit possible. I'm not denying any credit, of course. But I'm also saying, well, but what is the cause of this gravity? It's very nice. He gave us gravity. He explained or he described gravity. And he explained that whatever that gravity of celestial mechanics that explains celestial mechanics, that describes or even explains, has some explanatory power in celestial mechanics, also has falling bodies explanatory powers. Fantastic. So, but he didn't explain what causes gravity. And everybody agrees that we don't have a quantum theory of gravity. Basically, I'm entering the discussion where everybody agrees. Mainstream science agrees there is no quantum gravity. I'm not the first person to ask what is the quantum mechanical explanation of gravity. That I'm not saying anything that is not mainstream. So the question, what is the quantum mechanical explanation of gravity? Give me the quantum mechanical. Why does the electron, right? The apple is composed of electrons and other elementary particles. Each electron is somehow attracted to the earth, but that you have to give a quantum mechanical explanation. You have to have some gauge theory, some particle exchange. There has to be a quantum mechanical explanation, a particle acceleration to why the electron is attracted to the earth, or why are two electrons attracted, or why, you have. Everybody is asking this for many years. Give us quantum gravity. So I'm providing quantum gravity. That's all I'm doing. Now, this quantum gravity, the way I see it, also resolves special relativity, general relativity. It fits together. It's a theory of everything, as it should be. That's all. I'm not denying anything. I'm not contradicting any known physics and mainstream physics and science. I'm completely compliant, not because I want to be compliant. It's just that it fits perfectly. The puzzle pieces fit perfectly.
I You're just renaming stuff.
So you weren't listening.
I was listening. I've been listening this whole time.
All right. I
Okay.
so
Okay.
you
This is
think
there's only one actual question.
yeah.
How do I test what you're saying?
I mean, you really don't need to test because I'm providing a theory of everything that fits together with everything and explains phenomena that have not been explained.
Did
But
you just hang on? Did
if
you
you
just
want,
tell me that you have figured out the theory of everything and you don't
hmm
need any way of testing it?
you don't need to because
How do you
you
know it's
don't have
right?
no, because there's no alternative theory of everything. So as long
Well,
as
wait.
there's no competitor, so the only competitor is the best,
Oh, okay. Then
right?
I got a theory of everything. Unicorns fly at 10,000 miles away from
hmm
us and they fart.
hmm
Their unicorn fart dust is what makes things fall towards surfaces. When those surfaces interact with that unicorn fart dust, it develops quantum theory. When quantum theory, the mechanics of it,
hmm
happen,
hmm
it then forms dark matter. When dark matter forms, it then forms trollolio. I know it's a very complicated thing, but it's a little bit past what we're saying right now. And now I have a theory of everything that explains more than yours. So I'm sorry, but yours no longer works. But there is something that is important. There are two theories now. How do we test yours?
It look, it gives you explanatory powers and it fits all the current data. It it's the only theory of everything. We don't have another theory of
I
everything.
just gave you a theory of everything. Now we got to figure out how okay, we can test. Now we got two. They're testable. Now, how do you test yours? There is another theory. I just told you one. I have a theory
No,
of everything.
you did not. You didn't
I
tell me a
do
theory
you
of
want
everything.
Okay, I'll do it
I
again.
don't know.
Okay. You ready?
No, don't do it again. No,
Why?
don't do it again.
Why not?
Because look, we can go through step by. You can look. You might have a theory of everything. I might have. It's good. We could go through and ask questions about your theory of everything. Great. It would need to give us a quantum mechanical explanation for gravity. It would have
But
to fit
yours
perfectly.
doesn't.
Yours
What
doesn't.
do you mean? What?
Okay,
I
explain. How do I test it? That's what I keep asking you for.
wait. Hold on.
Your explanation,
Wait. Hold on.
your
Wait. Hold on.
explanation should give
Wait
some
a
sort
minute.
of testable
Wait a
power.
minute. Wait a minute. I just told you I have explanatory powers. I can
Then do it.
explain.
Let's hear
No.
it.
As soon wait, hold on. And then when I want to start explaining, you say, "But what is your proof?" I can tell you
Huh?
what we can go through a
That's
discussion
not what was
about the proof.
said. That's
You
not what
keep
was said.
no look, you keep
I didn't ask for
look,
proof.
you
I didn't, dude. You're
what do you
not
mean
listening
didn't
to
ask
me.
for
You're not
proof?
listening to me.
You said,
I
"What's your
asked you.
evidence?"
I asked you how do I test it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I test it? How
I
do I verify it? There's more than one theory. You said there's only one theory of everything, so there's no reason to test it. I gave you a theory of everything, right or
no, you
wrong. It says
didn't.
yes, I
Look, you
did.
didn't. Look,
Yes, I did.
look, what's your theory of everything? Don't do what you did before.
Why?
Let me stop you. No, if you look, when I present a theory, I stop and breathe and let you
Okay.
interrupt and ask questions.
Hmm.
If you want to present your theory of everything, you gotta stop when I ask you to
Absolutely.
stop. Let me,
Okay.
okay, go ahead. What's your theory of everything?
Okay.
How do you explain and why Apple falls? How do you explain gravity? What's your quantum mechanics of gravity? What's your quantum gravity theory?
Unicorns. Pegasus, actually. I'm sorry. Pegasus has wings. Pegasus flies at 10,000 miles. He
Hold
farts.
on,
That
hold on,
that
hold on,
dust
hold on,
touches an
hold,
object,
hold,
and that
hold. You
object
gotta stop. You
intrinsically
gotta stop.
wants to
Okay,
go
you don't want
towards the Earth.
you gotta stop.
Go ahead.
Look,
Go ahead.
no,
Ask your question.
start over. Start over. Stop
Okay.
when I ask you to stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pegasus flies at 10,000 miles above us. Pegasus
Okay.
fart.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. So your theory of quantum gravity needs to account for gravitational effects all over the universe.
Yes.
So Pegasus flying over our head has nothing to do with the other side of the universe.
My bad.
So
Every
yeah.
I didn't add this part. Every
Mhm,
mass has its own personal unicorn.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, all matter does. When the Pegasus, farts, its fart dust interacts
Okay,
with
so
objects. Our mass, I'm sorry, interacts with
one
mass.
second, one second, one
Yes.
second. Okay,
Okay.
so let's take an electron. So an electron.
Yeah, we don't need to. In my theory, electrons aren't important.
No, you have no. So theory of I'm completely conformal to quantum mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So if your theory is not conformal to quantum
It
mechanics,
is.
then
It is.
okay. So let's take an electron. Let's discuss an electron. So what are you saying? So how does an electron become attracted to the planet through quantum mechanics? Explain to me. Explain to me the quantum mechanics of gravity. Explain to me
I
your
did.
quantum gravity.
I did.
Yeah. So let's talk about the electron. So how
Okay.
do you get the electron to be attracted to the planet?
Unicorn fart dust. Pegasus fart dust.
No.
Sorry.
We have an electron. Explain how the electron is suddenly attracted to the planet.
There are these little
Pegasus
Keebler elf
fart dust.
things.
No. Look, let's think about an electron, and the electron is floating in front of you right now.
Dude, you said you wanted a cause, and I'm telling you, why aren't you accepting of it?
No, I don't. It's not. You're not saying a complete sentence in English.
Okay, unicorn. You're right. I keep fucking up. It's not a unicorn. Unicorns don't have fucking wings.
You're
Jesus
saying
Christ,
there
Sean.
is a unicorn.
Pegasus.
Pegasus. One
Pegasus.
second. One second. So you're saying
Okay.
there is a quantum scale Pegasus next to each electron?
No.
Okay, we're talking about each.
No. It's smaller than that.
1 second.
It's smaller.
1 second. So we're talking about each and every electron in the each and every massive particle in the universe has a Pegasus next to it?
No, just fart dust.
No, you said Pegasus. So you're changing your quantum theory?
No, the Pegasus
the
flies
fart
over
dust.
and
Yeah,
farts.
the fart dust.
You said
is,
Pegasus.
No, Pegasus is the cause of the fart dust. My theory has a cause.
1 second. So there is an electron. I still don't understand how you're going to get the electron to be attracted to the planet.
Because the fart dust sprinkles out and pulls the electrons towards the Earth.
I cannot hear you. What? Wait, what? How does the electron get attracted to the planet?
Pegasus fart dust attracts him. It's just like quantum gravity. How on the small scale.
Hold on. I don't understand. So how does the electron become attracted to the planet? I'm not following. What's your explanation?
Unicorn fart dust.
That's not
Pegasus.
a sentence in English.
It
That is a sentence in English.
Pegasus. Look, Pegasus is a flying unicorn. That's
where
English.
is it next to?
Fart,
Is it next
fart
to every?
is the stuff that comes out of your butt.
Is every?
Dust
1 second.
is the particulates from it.
Stop. Answer my question. Stop.
I did.
So next to every elementary particle, there is a Pegasus.
Yeah, wherever you're putting the term ether, that's where the unicorn fart dust is.
Oh, so you're agreeing with me. You're just replacing ether with the word Pegasus.
Yes. Yeah. But
kind of like how you replaced gravity with the word ether.
Yeah.
I never did that.
Yes, you did. Okay, fine. How about this?
What do you mean?
When Pegasus uses this fart dust and it gets on an apple, the apple drops at 9 point. The apple drops at 9.8. When the dust gets, what's up?
Wait, you gotta let me stop you. Okay, look,
go ahead.
You already conceded to my ether theory. You just did. You just renamed it Pegasus. You renamed every ether particle into Pegasus. All right, then we completely agree on everything. You just renamed ether. I don't care what you call it.
Okay,
Maybe we will call it
you
Pegasus.
just renamed gravity. So I guess we're done.
I did not.
Yes, you
Gravity
did.
Glad we
is.
clarified that. I'm glad that we spent this last hour making the same point.
Just to show that he's making the same point. But that's okay, because Mr. Slave, we're gonna go ahead and end this one out. We're just gonna do loops. It's fun. We can set up an actual one-on-one. We can be serious about it. But I'm letting you know now. You're just replacing the word gravity for ether. You haven't. If you don't have a way to test anything beyond what's already been said, then that is what you're doing. You're just replacing a name. Otherwise, all your evidences for this ether are just quantum gravity. Or gravity, whatever you name your topic, whatever you want. You're just replacing things and saying science is correct. Ether is these things. Okay, how do I test that? How do I see the cause? All these things that I've asked you that you haven't been able to answer. The only way I was able to show this, unfortunately, was explaining that Pegasus farts make things fall.
You ended up conceding to my ether theory.
If that no,
We didn't
okay, hang on. No, here's the thing. I will say I conceded. But if I'm saying I conceded, then you are dishonestly saying you don't concede. Because all I did purposely was do what you did.
Then you're conceding with more words. I don't understand what you're
Yep.
trying to do.
No. If you want to take that as a concede, then you take that as a concede, because I understand how you take things.
I'm not here to get a concession. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to share my knowledge, to share my ideas, to get cross-examined, to get my ideas cross-examined.
You don't like being cross-examined at all. That's
You
why
do not like
you
it at
hate
all.
that with a passion.
That's
You
not
hate it.
nice. Don't talk about me. That's not nice.
I'm telling you right now. You can play it back on the. You can play.
Constructive criticism, sir.
Hey, you can play the stream back. Every time I had any criticism to what you were saying, you had a problem with it every single time.
That's a personal attack. Don't do that. Don't talk about me.
That's not a personal attack. It's not a personal
I'm
attack.
not here.
If offense is taken, it's not given. If you're taking offense,
wait, please, wait, one at a time. So, I don't want to be discussed. I'm not here to be discussed. I'm here to discuss my ideas. I don't want to be the center of the discussion. I'm completely unwilling.
No, you are willing. You can't. Okay, so when you came on the panel, you thought everyone on that panel thinks it's ether, not that ether is a cause of gravity. You thought everyone in here did that, right? Okay, so then you knew you were going to be the one.
No. I don't want to be discussed. I want my ideas to be discussed. I don't want to be the center of attention.
We
I
are
want my
discussing.
theory to be.
We are discussing Mr. Slave's opinion.
let me say this so that I can leave, okay? This will be my outro, so please don't interrupt. You'll get your outro. You won't be interrupted, okay? My issue that I'm taking with you, sir, is that I don't even, you know what? Never mind. Never mind.
I can say something that will get you.
I genuinely hope that you can understand that if you want your rhetoric to be heard, if you want people to hear your message, if you want them to take you seriously as somebody who is an intelligent individual who has something to say that is pertinent, you need to be capable of taking criticism, and you need to depersonalize yourself from your argument, from your science, from your science.
I'll ignore your comments about me.
All the best science is objective.
I don't disagree so much, but yeah.
All you are doing is stunning your own personal growth by creating an echo chamber because you just
attacking me now.
refuse to hear criticism.
That's a
to your
personal
argument.
attack.
It's a critique. It's a critique.
That's not nice.
It's a critique.
I'm not here to be
observation.
critiqued. I'm not here for that. I'm here for my theory to be critiqued.
Okay, and my critique is that I can't critique your theory if you can't hear it.
Yeah.
That's a personal attack. I'll ignore it.
It's not a personal
It's
attack. You
not.
keep saying that. It's so weird. It's not at all. The problem that
I
we're having, the biggest issue that's happening right now is that you're not understanding that what you're saying, it has no explanation behind it,
You're
and
talking about me.
we're talking to you.
Yeah, now you are. Yeah, you're right. Finally, you are. Yeah.
When what haven't I?
No. Just now. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, go on. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say something else.
Okay,
Go on.
but literally, all this amounts to is yes, you can have an opinion. Yes, you can even call it the theory of everything. You can call it whatever the hell you want. But if you're going to have a back and forth, besides with just yourself, you have to expect pushback. You have to be able. You have to accept the fact that if you're,
That's
if,
personal. That's
it's not
personal.
personal. What the? No, it's not.
No. Talk about no. We can talk about my theory, not
I
about me.
did.
I'm
I
not.
did. I
No, you're
literally.
talking about me. You're
Okay,
talking
then
about me. I don't want to be talked about.
who is presenting your theory?
Some whoever it is, I don't want to talk about that person that happens to be me. I don't want to talk about the person making the presentation. I want to talk about
Okay.
the presentation.
Okay, so then what is me saying? How do you test this? How do you verify this?
That's
What
good. That's
phenomena?
good.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
good.
How do you,
That's
how do you
good.
test? How do you test them?
So I answered this multiple times. I mean, basically, gravity is the test. The constant speed of light is a test. And I have also the vertical accelerator test that maybe I'll describe next time.
Those weren't tests. I'm sorry. Those were. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I think we have hit the. We're just gonna go in circles now, sir. And I do enjoy talking to you, so I don't want it to get any worse.
Mm.
I'm gonna go ahead and end this one out.
Hmm.
I will put your link in the chat, so anyone who wants to check out Mr. Slave's channel, it will be in the description shortly after I end this.
Hmm.
But regardless, Mr. Slave, I do enjoy talking to you. It is fun because it's never boring, and it's never silent, and that's all the stream needs.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I appreciate all your questions, and it's terrific. And by the way, I have plenty of other propositions which will blow your mind. But we can discuss more ideas next time or
Absolutely.
between shows.
And like I said, I feel actually I do know it because I heard you talking. Oh yeah, because the I won't talk about that here. I don't know if you want people knowing where you're at besides around. But I do know you have other topics, and I'd like to delve into some of those sometime too.
They're all
You,
revolutionary.
yeah,
Nothing is mainstream.
perfect. I like that because I don't like
Yeah.
mainstream. I think mainstream has too much crap involved in it.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that next time we interact. We'll skip this topic because we've probably done this twice now, and then we'll talk about something else. Because
Okay.
I'm actually very interested in on your views of other things too. Because
Okay.
last night I did hear you talking, and you weren't. I wouldn't call anything you said revolutionary, but it was very clear that you're not a one trick pony.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely touch into that next time we get a chance, whether it's here
Okay.
or in the background somewhere. But yeah, definitely,
Sure.
absolutely,
Okay.
sir.
All right. See you.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one out. That was fun, special. For everyone that just got here, I don't believe in Pegasus unicorn farts making things fall. But it's very important that we understand that yes, we must agree on what science is, but regardless of what science is, no matter what it is, if it's your assumption, it doesn't matter what it is. At least have a way of verifying, testing, having some explanatory power to what you're saying. Besides, it just is. I don't. It just seems odd. I get that. Even asking someone for an explanation that will make them understand, myself understand, and the world for that matter, isn't an easy task. But it should have steps, and it should at least. It should at least have a way for someone besides just yourself to understand it. And I think verify, test is probably the most important. And anything beyond that, things that can't be tested, can't be verified, falsified, I do believe is just a faith-based argument. So if that's to be said, ether may be his faith. I don't know. But it was very much so a faith argument piled around faith in other things to scope a correct theory for yourself. A lot of people do it. I've done it in the past. I understand why it's done. I understand, and I don't even think it's a bad thing. But you have to, if you're going to take those steps, you have to be able to take criticism. You have to. There is no ands or buts about it, because if you're not taking criticism, you just assume everything you said is correct. And to me, that doesn't really work very well. Besides for that, guys, like I said, I have 2 flat earthers willing to do the debate thing, under the guides of how it works, not knowing who they're going to debate. Glober doesn't know what the topic's going to be. I will start probably tonight looking for Globers. If you are on Discord and you DM me that you want to be part of it, it'll be the fastest way I know you want to. I could tell you the people that I am in contact with for this, but I don't want to. I don't want to until I've gotten a definite. And that should happen in the next couple days. But it is out there. If I find a Glober, then I will start promoting it sooner. But I haven't found one yet, and I don't want to be it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't want to debate flat earthers. I will. I do. But for this, I don't want to. Lil put me in a bad situation where I end up having to debate fucking Brian Leakey. And now you want to know what the worst part about that is I feel like I have to fucking debate Brian Leakey now, because he got an hour and a half of crap to say, and I didn't say nothing thinking Lil would. And that way, I was so far behind, I couldn't really start debating him the other night. So now I feel like I have to have a one-on-one debate with him to set the standard straight of what the crap he was saying. So that's why the next Glover, I know for a fact will have words to fucking say, and not that whatever the fuck Lil did. But yeah, it's going to be fun and very interesting. I will be streaming tomorrow for sure, 100%. I know that because I will not be around Thursday or Friday because I'm going to San Diego. So I will clump my streams in today and tomorrow. As for the debate, I have gone through some things. It is possible for me to still have it on Saturday. I would like to make it a weekly thing. Worst case scenario, though, it'll be during the week. But, if that doesn't work, then, time-wise for the people that are going to be involved, it will be next weekend, the following weekend. When I was talking about this that night, I completely, for some odd reason, didn't even think about the fact that I wouldn't be here Saturday. So with that said, guys, DM me if you want to be involved in that. Flat Earthers and Globers. And the wonderful stipulation of this that most people didn't realize, or I've had conversations about if it was true or not. Yes, I am paying Flat Earthers to do this. I don't see why not. You're asking someone to get into an arena of people that already just talk shit, so why not? I think the fact that I'm making it a situation where they don't know who it is good enough. Will I ever pay Globers? Fuck no. There's too many of you stupid fucks willing to do this. This is only going to be to Flat Earthers. Unless I can get like a really fucking stupid good one. Maybe then. But I'm not looking for that because there's too many of you Globers out there that are willing to make fools of yourselves. And the other part is Flat Earthers, why not? Make it a reason for them to want to be here. Make it fun. With that being said, guys, I'm just rambling. You know how I works. If I don't just fucking cut myself off, I'll just do it forever. So.
If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. And that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is. It doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong.
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, I've been Top of the world, the globe is spinning, spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I don't ever bother with a critic. Hit him with a chronicle of Riddick. Boom, bottle full of Ritalin. I hit him with a little bit of riddle me this, riddle me that. My bad, fell asleep at the gas. No time to wait though. Elon Musk, I'm trying to bankroll. New Tesla just cause I say so. Electric whip like Ivan Van Gogh. I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
I've been on a mission like totally spice. I'm my baddie, she bad, but she totally nice. Neil sa blue en het toes wil ik white. Ik kom niet met jou, dat is zo voor mijn lijk. Je knew it for sure, but he left with a why.